One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so.
Oh, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom, in freedom, peace and unity.
Arise, my people, arise, my bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so.
Oh, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom, in freedom, peace and unity.
Arise, my people, arise, my
I miss my dad. He taught me the most important lesson of all. Never be afraid to do the right thing. No matter what people say about you, just do the right thing. My father taught me not to be afraid. I was born here, but I grew up in a place where fear was everywhere. You cannot understand it unless you've lived it. Triple checking that all the doors and windows are locked, waking up in the night at every sound, listening as you hear your neighbors scream as they are being burgled and beaten, and wondering if your home will be next. When you've experienced that kind of fear, you're not worried about being attacked on Twitter. you appreciate how rare and precious it is to live in a country with security, democracy, equality under the law, and above all else, freedom. Free speech, free enterprise, free markets, conservative freedoms, conservative principles.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam. Thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. This by the end of the year. How are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Traders display their agricultural goods along the road in a typical OGONI village in Rivers State. It's the usual ambience created by the endless chatter of buying and selling for subsistence in an evening market. Predominantly farmers and fishermen, the people like music, often with a thematic preoccupation reflecting their culture and traditional lifestyle. The Ogonis are a happy people, despite a sad historical background.
We are going to demand our rights peacefully, non-violently, and we shall win.
Born on the 10th of November 1941, Kenule Beso Saruwiwa was from Bane in Kana local government area of Rivers State. A graduate of English from the University of Ibadan, he was a prolific writer who displayed wit and literary proficiency in many works of art.
Despair. He cursed the earth for spouting oil, black gold they called it, and he cursed the gods for not drying the oil wells. What did it matter that millions of barrels of oil were mined and exported daily, so long as this poor woman wept those tears of despair?
This message is for parents who don't have life insurance. For as little as £2.50 a week,
losing a bid to represent the Ogonis in the Constitutional Convention to usher in the Second Republic in 1978, it dawned on the young Wiwa that politics is indeed local and the key to having a voice in Nigeria. In 1990, Saruwiwa founded the Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People, a mass-based organization for the campaign for social, economic, and environmental justice in Nigeria's Niger Delta region.
And on behalf of the Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People,
first as spokesman and later president of MOSOP, the majority of the people embraced the ideology of the movement, but a few distanced themselves. As an outspoken critic of the Nigerian government, Ken Saruwiwa, Ledo Mite, and top members of MOSOP led a non-violent campaign against environmental degradation of the lands and waters of Ogoni land by the operations of the multinational petroleum industry.
we want freedom! We want freedom! We want freedom! We want freedom!
While the campaign endured, members of the movement were tried by a special military tribunal for allegedly masterminding the gruesome murder of some Ogoni elders at a pro-government meeting. Sarowiwa and 8 persons, infamously called the Ogoni 9, were sentenced to death and hanged in 1995 by the military dictatorship of General Sani Abacha.
It was a sham that it violated both Nigerian law and international law. And sadly for me, even the judge rose to become the chief judge of Federal High Court. Several people who were part of that process were rewarded, some became generals, some became all that. Other parts of the world, you visit rows of people.
This was a fraudulent trial, a bad verdict, an unjust sentence, and it has now been followed by judicial murder. I don't think that is acceptable. I see no way in which it can be defended. And if the Harare principles mean anything, I do not myself see how Nigeria can stay in the Commonwealth until they return to democratic government.
The execution provoked international outrage and resulted in the suspension of Nigeria from the Commonwealth of Nations for 3 years.
The day Ken Sarowiwa was executed was the most sad day in my life. And I can remember that day there was no rain, there was no sun. And I was in Port Harcourt. Everywhere was very quiet and sad, and military were in control. Some prominent Ogoni were killed with him brutally. But still, I don't think we have anything to remember them for than the hero that paid the price for the benefit of his people of the Niger Delta. And anything the blood has been spilled, with time, the benefit must come, because you cannot stop the message, but you can stop the messenger.
1995 is in the dark history of the Ogoni people. Somehow, you survived. How did you survive?
Like Nigerians will say, is the act of God. And I look forward to it as not just a sad day for the Ogoni people, but for this country and for all humanity and those who cherish justice.
From today onwards, Shell is declared persona non grata in Ogoni. No Shell! No Shell!
Ken Sarowiwa's earlier proclamation became reality after his death.
It's shocking how much of the equipment we've used for decades contains forever chemicals. This is the first innovation.
The Dutch company was no longer welcome in Ogoni land. 29 years after the execution of the Ogoni 9, what has changed in Nigeria's oil-rich Niger Delta region?
Nothing has changed. If anything, it is worse. Over 99% of the oil wells in the Niger Delta belong to non-Niger Deltans. Most of them does not know the road to the Niger Delta, not to talk of experiencing the negative effects and impacts of oil production. Look at the recommendation of UNEP report, that there is hydrocarbon in the air that we breathe, that there is benzene, a cancer-causing carcinogen, in the water that we drink, that as at 2011, the 5 meters of the land was dead. Now it has got into the water table. That the water we drink in Ogoni is 900 times worse than level recommended by World Health Organization. It means that you can see somebody in the morning and in the evening the person is dead. And that's why weekends, the only festival is burial. If you call a traditional ruler in Ogoni today, it's a young boy. Life has become so short. When people spend 40 years, they celebrate for a life well spent. All that happened because of pollution.
Enshrined in the struggle is the Ogoni Bill of Rights.
Political marginalization, economic strangulation, and ecological degradation. Ecologically, the United Nations came to Ogoni to establish the fact that Ken was not lying. He was saying the truth, that the Ogoni environment has been polluted,
and that it needs to be remediated.
Has that Bill of Rights even got a response at all? HYPREP is working, but it's only the beginning. The surface of the land may be clean, but pollution has gone as deep as 10 meters in some places. Even groundwater has been contaminated. If the people understand that it takes more than one lifetime to restore a polluted environment, and they open their arms and welcome new pollution, what can we say?
Obasanjo have visited Ogoni 4 times. 4. There are some states he did not visit. He visited Ogoni 4 times. He could not take the oil. He thinks that he can do that without addressing the legitimate demands that the Ogoni people were making. Look at what oil wells are done in Abuja that do not have one oil well. Oil wells from the Niger Delta, look at what they have done in Abuja. The oil in Ogoni has blood on it. He thinks it's an ordinary oil.
A 2014 report by the United Nations Environment Programme reveals that it will take about 25 to 30 years to restore the environment in Ogoni land in a cleanup exercise expected to gulp about $1 billion.
We shall implement the UNEP report on Ogoni land. We are determined to put right the wrongs of the past, where the people of this land were treated unfairly and the environment unduly degraded and polluted.
That cannot be a sustainable way of cleanup. The world knows what needs to be done. It has happened in very many parts of the world, and we have seen the processes of cleanup. They have United Nations Environmental Program that was supposed to monitor the process, and they came out to say that, look, this is environmental vandalism.
I meet the project coordinator of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, Professor Neni Barini Zabi.
We have structured our remediation intervention in Ogoni in a manner that is systematic, that is sustainable.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your local geographical location. My name is Andrew. Thank you for joining me this wonderful Wednesday evening, where I am, depending on where you are. You've seen the video and the content of it. We're here to examine the implications of the claim that the Igbos are ranked. The assertion made that they are ranked lowest in impunity, to which I still disagree till tomorrow. Based on the video you also have watched, that is a region that I come from. I worked in that same region on the oil rig and on the oil boats, crucial boats, and I've also privileged to travel around that region, and also can say some certain things with authority that we also have suffered. Impunity and the issue of impunity in Nigeria is across board. No ethnicity or no tribe suffered more than the other, based on the video that we have seen. And the question that was asked is, what has changed since Nigeria returned to democracy? Impunity is the absence of the rule of law. Does it mean the laws don't exist? Of course, those laws exist. Implementing those laws. The recent case that we're going to look at is the newly elected local government chairman in Anambra State. His actions, his criminal act, just like some Nigerian leaders who once lived abroad, committed crimes, and now back in Nigeria, holding positions, a position of leadership. What they do with the life of the people they govern. You know why? Because there is the absence of the rule of law. No one has ever held them accountable for their action. He was arrested in US recently, where the rule of law is practiced. So if we are going to get anything right going forward, we have to acknowledge that act of impunity is what is across board and is carried out by what? By everyone and anyone. Hence, I have this up here that it's not by ethnicity nor tribe, but by the content of what? Of their character. Those who what? Who perpetrated it, and those what? Those of us who what? Who suffered it, who suffers it. So that assertion is absolutely not correct. That some part of the country suffered or suffering impunity are lowest, categorized as lowest. What? Lowest. Put it up again. Lowest. Ranking lowest in impunity. Has any one of you visited that region before, even up to date, to see the environmental destruction? Some can't even boast of good schools. Impunity does not only means people are stopped in checkpoint. We have 500 and 1,000 checkpoints in one area than the other. There are other acts of what from impunity as well. Just as the video we've watched just now. The environmental pollution in that region, as we heard, runs deep down into the ground, that even getting a good clean water is difficult. The health implication of that. So that argument does not fly by me and never will fly by me. That one region suffers more, or one ethnicity are ranked lowest in impunity. That is from the pit of hell. The OGONI 9s, Ken Saro-Wiwa. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about those who died in what? During the EndSARS. Those who died in protests. Those who have been killed. Just because we have 1,000 checkpoints from pole to pole, they have that. You know the stars of yesterday's first broadcast. The star. If we're going to award, if I personally going to award anyone during the Samuel Ekpa interview, it's Ngozika for calling out his BS. I give her that award. Among all panelists, including those in the comment section, is what? Ngozika. So it's time we call out our BS and address ourselves the way it is. And tell it as it is. And tell the truth. I don't tread on the path of tribal or religious sentiments. I dislike it to the core. Because I have met people from different tribes who have both been very good to me and equally bad. to me. So, the claim, just because recently, what's his name? Showore, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, stated that if he were the president of Nigeria, he would travel to the south, or whatever it is, and apologize to them for the war and ask them what do they want. That's another BS. At this point, you don't know what they want until you become a president. Why don't you fight for them now if you really care? Or is it trying to cut Peter Obi and the obedience? We can't do this tribal sentiment and think we were going to get to that promised land. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to take us nowhere, because the impunity being measured out, being dished out in that country today affects everyone. Everyone is being served breakfast, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your religion. We all have the same color of skin, except few who are albinos. Doesn't matter your height or your status, your sexual orientation. We all been served breakfast. Because why? Because of the absence of what? Of the rule of law that exists in that country. That is the military. We returned what? Nigeria has returned to democracy. What has changed? We can say, oh, that is the Abacha. Abacha is a mean man. We are in a democratical, or we claim to be in a democratical setting. What has changed since Nigeria returned what? To democracy? Are we observing or practicing that rule of law? Ekeremadu was arrested in the UK because why? Because it happens that's where the rule of law works, practice. If it was back in Nigeria, nothing will happen. They get away with everything they do. And I stand on what I always say. It's down to what? To us citizens. To what? To start to take what? To take control. Journalistic and citizen advocacy plays a vital role in exposing acts of impunity, putting pressure on government and organization to what? To uphold justice. I take aside the journalistic. I go what? To what? To what? To the citizens, which is you and I. How do we turn this ship around and stop this act of blaming, this tribal sentiment? I'll say this for the record. You know why Biafra can never work? I'm sorry, those of you will not like. Because why? It's going on the line of a tribe. Hence, it will never work. It will. I use the word never, ever, ever will be actualized. Because why? It's not based on the interests of the populace. It will never work. Take it to the markets. Write today's down. The actualization of Biafra will never, ever work until, except there is a change in the memorandum. There is a change of mentality to understand that tribal sentiment doesn't take us nowhere. If Samuel Ekpa becomes president of Biafra, he claims to be prime minister, I can guarantee you his dictatorship will be worse than that of Abacha or Idi Amin. Write it down. If truly, I was a moderator yesterday, I was a panel, so I couldn't say much. I'm having my own opinion before those who wants to come on the platform wants to join, or before I go to the comment section. This is my own time. If it becomes a man who evaded questions to answer questions, who is not transparent, and who insult those who ask him questions. His behavior is appalling, disgraceful. And people are applauding him. Because why? Because he's going on that tribal sentiment. Tribal sentiment. Ain't gonna work. And some individuals pride themselves when they address them as Mazi defenders because they are looking for self-recognition. Let me tell you something. You think it's difficult to have Samuel Ekpa extradited to Nigeria? Nah, it's not difficult. It's so easy. It's just that they've not opened chapter to him. When the Nigerian government truly opened chapter to him, the Finnish government, the government of Finland, will hand Samuel Ekpa back to Nigeria. Trust me on that. When it comes to diplomacy and comes to what government will benefit from each other, it's so easy. The twinkling of an eye, they will just pick him up and give it to them. It's not difficult. His own people will betray him. Where money speaks, betrayal is what is inevitable. Except those who have principles. We're headed to it. It will never work because it's on that tribal line. And that is what Showore is also treading on now. What tribal sentiments, if I were the president, I will go in there and apologize to them. If you want to join the platform, please turn on your camera. If you're backstage, please. If you don't want to, then respectfully, I can bring you in, please. So here we have the OGONI 9. Go there, travel there. This is not, don't do hearsay. Travel there. Then you will understand the pain that people are going through. The suffering that my people, allow me to use the word my people, are experiencing. So, why go on that line? If you call yourself a man or a person who is advocating change, why fan tribal or religious sentiments? How would that bring about change? How would that bring about it? Yes, Nwachukwu, you're right. I was promoting him the other day without a shadow of doubt. What changed? I'm only highlighting his comments. Is he cutting Peter Obi? This is about tribal sentiment. He ain't gonna cut it for him. Playing that tribal sentiment will not bring the crowd to him. He ain't gonna get it. You know why? Because any human being who thinks only him or her knows it all cannot work with other people, doesn't get anywhere in life. And that's who Showore is. That's who he is. He does not want to collaborate. No one is saying you should lower your principles and standards. No, I ain't going to tell you to lower your principle and standard. But if you're going to bring about change, you're going to work with those who don't even have principle and standard and try your possible best to see how you can make them see reasons as to why we have to do this together. You don't have to compromise. I hope I answered your question. Yes, that is what I was saying. And I stand by it. And I hope he understands that he needs the crowd behind him. Fanning tribal sentiment takes him nowhere. Never, ever. He won't get it. He will know what? He won't get it. Because they found this thing to divide us. And united we stand, divided we fall. So irrespective of tribe and what and religion, we still need what? To be united. And once we divide, it goes nowhere. That's fact of life. I didn't make it. You can disagree on it, and you provide evidence to such. I work with people on this platform who we don't agree. Does that mean I have to lower my standard? Or they have to lower their standard? Promoting decorum is one of the things we do here. And we have to work together. If I don't like it, I walk away. To it may happen soon or in the near future. So that's assertion about certain ethnicity. I can see somebody, Pansat, came in to post a link. I don't advertise link here, please. With due respect, thank you. Whatever you want to pass on, you can come on the platform and speak and talk about it. You're welcome. As long as you uphold the decorum, you're welcome to come. But I can sit down here, talk, close shop, and go home. I'm happy. So you're welcome to come on the platform to challenge these arguments. And we have an educated discussion as long as you uphold decorum. I'll go to comment section and I'm going to take comment. Thank you for those of you who have joined me in the comment section. Your comments being part of this is highly appreciated. So okay. I don't know what 2IK says, Soros, okay, and stop shutting others who are Soros. I don't understand what you mean by that. So if you can clarify that. I hope those calling for a return to military rule watch this. The way those guys treated dissent was brutal and final. But theology, we are in democracy. What has changed from the military? Let's be honest with ourselves. Has anything changed? Yes. We don't want the military. We must not call for it. It's not enshrined in any law. They have no respect for anyone and anything. But we've returned to democracy. And the question before us, that was, if you watch that video, what has changed since Nigeria returned to democracy? As that act of impunity that we've suffered during the military, different from what? From those who wear tie and shirt or native clothes. Has it changed? That's what is before us. Has that changed? That has not changed. So we are still suffering it today. Because of what? Because of the absence of what? Of the rule of law. Thank you. Who isn't marginalized in Nigeria? That word is overused. Every one of us, every tribe, region has been marginalized and continue to be marginalized. And not certain group or individuals. We can't continue finding this. Nigeria is a poor country and everybody is suffering. Kickstart the economy and watch how things and people change. I don't need to highlight that. He said, if you don't speak up, how do we know you are being marginalized? Why shut down those bold enough to do so? I don't know if you're addressing me. I really don't understand. If you're addressing me, or if you don't understand the context of what we're talking about, is that no tribe or region there that is not suffering impunity or has not suffered impunity. In fact, we all. Because why? Nobody holds our leaders accountable. We don't hold them. So they do anything and they get away with it. They don't care. Who are you? Do you know who I am? I can pick a call now and call the president or call his son or call anybody or call the senator who is my brother and everything is just. And because even me myself don't have principles and morals, I accept every little thing like 100 naira they give to me and sweep it under the carpet. The story of sweeping things under the carpet is that it's there, it doesn't go away. It will come back, it will decay, it will create. And that is what we are experiencing today. Tribe has nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. But what? But the context of what? Of our character. The context of what? Of our character. In my life, in my journey up to that, those who have been good or have helped me in life are not from my own tribe, or from my own tribe. Most of them are not from it. Most of them are not. In fact, I can barely tell you if I have one friend who is from my tribe, except we're either related or not. Either related, I beg your pardon. I can't tell you, oh, this person is from my tribe. We knew so. Yes, it is about OGONI 9, but to highlight, it is about, you need to listen. It is about the OGONI 9, but however, to challenge this, let me highlight it. The implication, the assertion about Igbos ranking lowest in impunity. It is about the OGONI 9. It has happened. What they suffered and what that region is suffering today. I'm not sure if you listen to the broadcast or the video that I played. It is about it. That is where I come from. It is about us. But you see, it's not just me, yourself inclusive. Yourself inclusive. Who is not suffering absence or lack of electricity in Nigeria today? Which tribe or religion that you are affiliated to, you are not suffering that absence of electricity today? From government to government, it doesn't matter which government or who is the president, whether it's a Yoruba man or a Hausa man or an Igbo man or whatever it is, we are all suffering it. If you can recognize that, checkpoint is nothing, because of you have more checkpoints in the eastern or in the south, meaning what? What a baloney, according to Judge Judy. And they will stand on the pulpit of God to say such a thing in the house of God, promoting division by our statement and comment, all in the name of we are fighting for human rights. What human rights are we fighting for? Fela have said this a long time ago. He sang it. Every day, my people. He said, my people, they inside. Fela didn't say Yoruba people, Hausa people, or Igbo people. 49 sitting, 99 standing. Then go pack herself like something. He sang it years ago. Yes, I place him as one of the greatest prophets that ever lived in Nigeria. Preaching is on via song, singing. What has changed Nothing has changed since then. Nothing has changed since then. So, yes, it is about the Ogoni 9, but to highlight that impunity is across board in that region. And those who are holding to that view that, oh, the Igbos are lowest ranked in impunity. What does it base it on? Just base it on checkpoints. If the water I am drinking is poisonous, so deep into the ground, if my farm has been what? Has been polluted so much that I can't farm, that even nothing I plant there can ever grow. You are talking about checkpoints. Ordinary checkpoints. If you don't have something to say, sing a song, please. So, again, it has a much more. I don't know what you're saying about. He's taking shot at Igbo people in a roundabout way. Slickers, okay, thank you. I know. Of course, I'm aware it's always been the issue, Igophobia. Thank you. Just like people who say they don't see color. Of course, see color. Who is it? Funny that this fake pastor loves his Nigerian, yet lives in the UK with his family, away from his beloved Nigeria. Your opinion is respected. I'm going to highlight it. Some people genuinely don't see color or tribe, myself inclusive. Thank you for that, please. Life and journey of Henry. Why call him fake pastor? Don't worry about that. That's why we're here. Let them call what they want to say. They're entitled to that. We are tribal. We can't deny that. How do we manage our tribal consciousness? Should be the question, and not denial. I don't think anyone, not even me, have denied the tribe. Even though I don't like saying it, I don't like talking about it. I don't even like answering when somebody asks me where I'm from, because it makes no difference. Judge me by my character. If I'm suffering today, let it be because I did something wrong. Either I lied to you or I steal your money, not because I come from a certain tribe or whatever it is. No. Nobody is living in that denial. That tribe don't matter, or we don't come from a tribe, or we don't belong to a tribe. No, I don't think anyone is in that denial, is in denial of that. Not even me. I told you that I am from that region, to be precise, Bayelsa. Recently, I heard the road that leads to my village cut into two due to the flood. And if you investigate very well, the amount that was used to construct that road was constructed by my own tribesman. I won't go further than that. That road was constructed by my own tribesman. We're doing each other. We're killing each other from the same tribe. So imagine that guy that was arrested, whatever his name is, in Texas, scamming people, this and that, a newly elected local government in Anambra State. Imagine what he's going to do. Imagine what he is going to, how he will treat his own people. He will scam them to hell. He will do nothing for them. Every money allocated to that local government to carry out projects, nothing will ever happen. You know why? Because nobody holds anybody accountable in that country. What he will do to his fellow tribesmen. Then we are blaming T-Pain. That T-Pain or whatever it is. Leave T-Pain where it is. What has changed? Ogoni at least should have been a better place in democracy. If we're talking about tourism, that region should boast of the best place for tourism in Nigeria. Giving to what? Giving to the sea and giving to everything around it. People should be there, going there on the seaside, relaxing. But that's not, doesn't. Speak for yourself. No, I'm speaking for everybody. That's where we are different. You have only ever been. How can you know how everyone else thinks or feels? I generally don't look at things in that manner. Believe it or not. Whichever way you look at things is your prerogative, not mine. And I'm speaking for myself, but equally also making you to understand that this issue of impunity that you and I are talking about today, everyone, listen, I don't need to go far. If you can say that you've had electricity for 1 year in Nigeria there. In fact, 1 year is 2 months, 1 month. Constant electricity. That is affecting everybody. And you think that is not impunity or part of impunity? People who are carrying it out on us not to have electricity, have we ever hold them accountable before? Has any one of us have gone to church to pray 7 days and fast 7 nights to say, let's have electricity? Nobody has done that. Even churches and mosques, they run generator. Because at the end of the day, we'll say it's the will of God for us to be in darkness. Nonsense. So depends on what you mean. Of course, I can see a person's complexion, but I don't judge based on that. So you're kind of contradicting yourself. So yeah. So you know what? I'll take. Thank you again for those who have joined us. Okay. Of course, that's what I mean. I see people's skin and color because I'm not blind. Does that mean that I segregate based on that? No, it shouldn't segregate. We see each other's skin. We acknowledge each other's tribe. Passat that wants to join is an Igbo man. I'm a Yoruba man. I mean, I'm an Ijaw man. I beg your pardon. Rudolph is an Igbo man. Forefather, we don't know where he comes from. It's either from heaven or hell. We can't see that. We are still investigating that. KJ is an Igbo man. And we have few others. So we recognize that. But we are suffering the same thing. What we're suffering is not based on tribe or ethnicity or religion. It's not. And if you think that is it, then God help you. The topic is not a clickbait. The OGONI 9, the absence of the rule of law. How is that a clickbait? I brought out the OGONI 9 to highlight that every one of us is suffering from what? From what our leaders and us, the citizens, failure to act has brought us to where we are today. How is that a clickbait? If you can answer that question, I will appreciate that. If you can. It's so easy. So easy the useless government couldn't expedite to Maru Diko. This is dude seem to know nothing about nothing. So the tribal sentiment of people telling other folks to go back to what? To their villa. You're asking me why the OGONI is quiet. Come on, they're not quiet. They're speaking. They spoke. Nothing has changed. And they're still speaking in their own corner. They're not quiet. We're just getting the fact, talking about the fact. Who says they're quiet? I'm from there. I'm from the riverine area. Am I quiet? Am I not preaching equal right and equal treatment for everyone? I sit down here almost every day to talk about this issues in the country. So how am I quiet? Or the cases you want me to solely focus on, I don't do that, and I will never do that. Because what you're suffering or what you are being punished for, or what you are going through, equally affects me. So it would be stupid of me to now want to exempt myself or exclude myself from it. I repeat it would be stupid of me. Because what you are going through is not different from what me and my people are going through. And until we come to that understanding and not say, because of checkpoint, some people suffers more than the other. Again, baloney. What affects you affects me, should affect me. So, what affects you should affect me. The sentiment that has been beaten for decades now, quota system education isn't sentiment. You're delusional, especially this fake person. It's like the ostrich. Quota system is recognized. It's not sentiment. It's a fact. Why some regions are being considered, even though they did not make the cutoff mark, than the others. It's all part of what we're talking about. It's all part of the package. It's all part of the package. And that is what we should be fighting for. For all. The three musketeers. It shouldn't be just about me or about you. It should be about us. Welcome to the floor, Pansat. The floor is yours. You want to weigh into it? Go ahead.
No, go ahead and conclude, and I would
I've given
find
you
out. Pardon?
I've given you the floor.
Okay. My main reason for coming on is the revelation that our current president is a CIA asset.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, I'm not.
You're not familiar with the allegation?
No, I'm not. I'm just hearing from you for the first time.
Oh, okay. Because it's a big thing, let me then update me on what you're talking about, and then I'll give you time to, unless you want to take my word.
You want to take my word for it? You've been listening from onset, isn't it? Because you came in, you posted a link.
Yeah, yeah. When I came in, I was just posting that link for you to see activity.
You want to focus on the topic, which is the absence of the rule of law, impunity, the implications of Dele Farotimi assertion that about Igbos ranking lowest. And I played a video about Ken Saro-Wiwa, what is happening or what has happened in that region. The argument is every one of us in that country are going through the same thing, particularly the issue of electricity. You want to weigh in on that?
I do want to weigh in on that.
I'm going to entertain what you bring on the table, but can you weigh in on the topic first, please?
Yeah, let me weigh in on the topic first. Yeah, we all in the same predicament in the country, and we complained about those things ad nauseum. We from the Southeast, we normally speak for ourselves because we don't want to tell any other part of the country to complain. Everything we've been protesting has now been nationalized, where every section of the country is feeling the same thing. And when you talk about the complaints we're making, everybody knows that nothing is working, right? If it's electricity, it's not that we're incapable of having electricity, it's being undermined.
Wickedness.
Right.
Let's use the right word for it. Let's call it as it is.
It's
outright wickedness, and no one has been held accountable till tomorrow.
You often refer to the Constitution because a lot of these things stem in the Constitution. The way the Constitution works, for example, here in the United States, the only ingredient that make it work is that you have 3 branches of government. And those branches of government have to be adversarial. It has to be they opposed. If somebody wants to break the Constitution, there's another one that is equal branch out of the three, which is the executive, judiciary, and the legislative branches of government. They are unfriendly to one another, inimical, right? They're combative unless they're obeying the Constitution. If you do something outside of that, then it's going to be antipathetic, jaundiced. The other one will be belligerent to it, and they'll call you in for a hearing. So the trick that those people, our elite, are using is for all of them to be on one side. They agree pretty much. There's nobody to bring somebody in and question them and hold them accountable according to what the Constitution says. So if a prima facie case has been made, let's just say somebody make an allegation that our refineries or that our distribution of electricity is being undermined by somebody who wants to import generators, for example. Then the prima facie case has been made enough for the House, say the National Assembly, to bring you in and question you. Even if you're a friend of the president or the president himself, in this case, let's say Atiku, has been alleged to bring in generators during Obasanjo's time, and we budgeted like $16 billion for electricity and all that kind of stuff, and it's corroded, then the National Assembly has to haul people in, question them under oath. Just lying, when you come to a hearing and you mislead in this case here, Congress, the punishment is severe. You go to jail for many decades for doing something like that. So we don't have that. You cannot expect to have electricity if it can be done with impunity. If Dangote undermines our refineries so they could have a monopoly, even if it's not true, you have not established it like you're in a court of law, but the allegation is made and you've made the prima facie, then he has to be hauled in. So we cannot be complaining ad nauseum. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So nothing is working because of these things I'm saying to you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've always talked about our lawmakers. I still stand on that position. That is the den of corruption. That is the temple of corruption. I hate to use certain words because of the rules here to describe them. I have to abide by it. And I've often said here that it is we the people. I go by, you highlighted the Constitution. We the people. Section 60, 69, 110 of the Constitution. We keep making excuses that these things cannot work. Okay, so let's stay in that boat of excuses and see how far it will take us. Let's stay there. But we're all, and for once, we agree that we are all suffering the same thing. Nobody is enjoying anything better than the other person. And that is the unity we should preach. Hopefully that will bring us together, because united we stand, divided we fall. This is known everywhere in the world. I am not against people fighting or agitating for what? For separation or actualization. I am not against that. I want the record to reflect that. But when you tread on that tribal line, because if you are my neighbor, we are living on the same street, for example, and the light is gone. It's gone on you, it's gone on me. In some cases, you will see the opposite have light, you don't have light. Then you open your window. What's going on here? We disturb each other with the generators, and I hate the sound of generators. That noise alone kills me. So if we recognize this and stop being each other's enemy or posing ourselves as each other's enemy, then I think we will get it right. If not, so we go to what you're saying, what you brought on the table. I will entertain it. In terms of Tinubu being an asset of the CIA. Let me ask you this, Patrick, with due respect. Is there any government official in Nigeria that is not an asset to one government or the other?
It's possible. It's possible that a lot of them are assets. But having the head of state, the president is a different class, especially in Nigeria. It's a very powerful. It means that we're just done. You have it's like a dictator, the president of our country. Besides, you can assume that when you have at least a prima facie evidence that somebody is alleged to be, even if it's a house member, even if it's just a regular clerk, it's incumbent on the country to find out via hearings. So it goes back to the last
question. Let me ask you this question. Who is tasked with that responsibility? Let's assume. Yeah. Let's assume that this allegation, okay, it is an allegation, okay, to be investigated.
Right.
Who is taxed? Which body is taxed?
The National Assembly, the House.
And we've agreed here that, or I have said here that, and based on what he also said that is the den of what? Of corruption. On his mandate, they stand. So if those people sang that on his mandate they stand, Pastor, the question is, what are they going to do? Do you think they will do anything?
No, because it goes back to what I said. They have to have an adversarial relationship. They're co-equal branches of government. Remember, the executive is not higher than the National Assembly.
I agree.
If they did it the way they've done it, especially under this particular administration, now it's been like that. This one takes it to another level, like you said. It's singing when it signed the budget. Yeah. So, but it's a clever trick of crooks. Now he takes it to another level because once anybody get an inkling of the allegation, they will have a hearing, not only to exonerate the president if he didn't do it, right? Because we can't live under that kind of cloud where there's suspicion. That is an asset. But the point is that they will at least have a hearing and be the fact finder. But nobody, even as I look at other panels talking about this, they're not even thinking about that, consequences of that. But we can't fold our hands. Maybe you discussing it here, Rudolph, others will then put the pressure. Maybe these people don't even know their responsibility in that National Assembly.
Pansat, I will have to disagree with you that these people don't know. Pansat, the people we have there, they know. This is the line I don't want us to tread, that those who are there are ignorant people. Pansat, they know.
I agree.
They know.
I was just trying to play the devil's advocate, give them some credit. Obviously, they know.
Go ahead, play the devil's advocate, and I'm going to challenge you because I'm the devil's advocate as well too.
No, you win that one because there's no way they don't know. These people are very clever. A lot of them been to United States, Britain. They know.
They lived there. Some of them have committed crimes there. And they return back to Nigeria knowing nothing will happen. The guy that was arrested recently, that newly elected Anambra from one local government chairman who has scammed people up to this and that, he was arrested in Texas.
Right.
But Pansat, if he was here, and the news even came out that he scammed women, nothing will happen. Because why? Those who are supposed to do that checks and balance to arrest him, we'll go back and meet him. But I must be the money self. Again, for us to keep this in hush, let me have my own cut.
Exactly. I mean, there's no disputing that. But we're in a position where we have to complain all the time. What do we do? What do you think we should do? How do we get the House to be in an adversarial? How do you separate those three branches? Tell me, how do you get that done?
Pastor, thank you. This is the most important question that we are going to deal with right now. And I've not changed. I was in Omoye's Corner's platform a few days ago, and we had a bit of back and forth. My position still stands. That is in the hands of you and I, the citizen, to change this narrative. Let me say this. I campaigned for Peter Obi, not because, I don't know him before. I don't even know that he existed before, to be honest, that he was a governor of Anambra State. I know nothing. But on the basis that if he becomes president, at least based on his transparency, accountability, is going to kickstart it. It may not be able to achieve it fully, but maybe it was laid that foundation, and we start to build on it. We start to build on it. But unfortunately, things didn't go the way it is. But it's still not too late. It's you and I. For example, look at that lawmaker that slapped that boat driver. Let's forget about the apology, the settlement, or whatever it is. If his constituency or his constituents pick it up and say, you know what, you can't be our representation, our representative again. Because why? You've based on the Civil Service Code of Conduct, the same constitution is there. The behavior of the code of conduct for civil service, starting from the president to the lowest, how they are expected. To whom much is given, much is what? Much is expected. So it's up to you and I. That is
where the point you made, for example, you used P2B. See, if the thing is that the position P2B is that if he just come in as president, automatically we're going to attain that separation that I was talking about. A lot of forces in the APC will be against him. They're going to be looking for any missteps he made to make a case against him. They're going to be looking at any loopholes in his policies that they can use to criticize him. That's when that body is going to come alive. If, let's say, if we could tackle INEC, because INEC is actually an extension of, say, Boko Haram, an extension of people who, now Boko Haram is not just the terrorist group. Boko Haram is an ideology that Western education is bad. That's what it means when translated loosely from Arabic or whatever it is, Hausa or anything like that, right? So when P2B comes, he's going to be coming from a different tradition. He's going to have enemies in the elite itself. He's going to have enemies in the PDP, senators, House members. He's going to have enemies in the APC. So it's just like here in the United States. When Donald Trump comes in, he's going to have enemies both in the Democratic and the Republican Party, because he's some kind of coming from a populist constituency. I don't know if you understand what I mean. That term populist, it's a general.
I'm listening to you because I'm gonna put some things to you. Go ahead. Okay, I'm listening. I'm taking notes.
Okay, great. So if P2B comes in, one of the things he's going to usher in, that's why I asked you, and I believe that you just went to that example. It's a good example. Him or anybody like him, it could be Showere, it could be anybody who's just coming in that's not part of the regular. That's when that body's going to come in, and you know that they're very smart people in that body, right? Obi's going to have northern Muslims are going to be against him, and they would legitimately find something that he's done wrong, either to impeach him. I believe that Obi went through the same thing in his state. It's not a religious issue. It just means an outsider coming in. So when he came in as a governor, he was impeached twice, even by his own tribesmen, people from his tribe. So he came in there, he tells a lot of anecdotes of his experience as governor, even when he's doing the right thing. So the assembly, the local body in the legislative arm in his state were able to oppose him and impeached him twice, and he went to the Supreme Court. So that's one thing we have to achieve. But the major problem we have, which is, I'll conclude on this here, is INEC. INEC will not let it happen, right? One of the biggest problems we have is INEC, and what I'm trying to do is to tame my words with describing the truth here about INEC, because obviously you being a pastor and you and I we don't see eye to eye, we don't agree. So I'm not going to give you a reason to scuttle this discussion, right? I'm going to try to keep it to where you just have to swallow hard and put up with it, right? The truth is, it's a biting thing. So to conclude, I'm saying that we have to take care of INEC. It's not the people. All of us here in 2022, we want platforms and we say, go and register, get your PVC, go and vote. Period. Go there and vote. And our people listen to us. They did the same. They did that. But when it happened, INEC did not have the mathematical acumen to rig the election. So what they did instead was to shut it down, disrespectfully. They did not rig the election. What they did was to turn it off, the IREV and the BVAS system, but announce the results on the same system for the senators and everybody else. But they shut it off and say, do your worst. I will say to you now, Google INEC Chairman Mahmoud, right? He was a professor for urban guerrilla warfare. That's his specialty. So you know, that is nothing but euphemism for Boko Haram, right? He is not your average guy who studied statistics or whatever, and he's into this thing. You Google it so that it won't be my word against yours. I'm
not against what you're saying. Just
okay, great.
Just go ahead.
Yeah, finally, I see Mr. Ego. Let me say hello to you, and I'll conclude by saying this so you could come in. The point I'm going to make to you is that in politics, when I taught it, one of the definitions for politics is politics by other means is war. That's what it is. Politics is nothing but war by other means. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Igbos are welcome. Before I come to you, Igbos, Pastor, we gave an hypothetical or a narrative that if P2B becomes president, there will certain peoples will make a case, will have a case against him. Would that be correct?
You're asking me, right?
Yeah, I'm just highlighting what you said. I just want to get it correct. Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
And also, you said we both know when he was impeached twice, he went to court and using the Constitution, which he himself said that he has benefited from the Constitution. And so will you agree that the same principle still applies to him, or that provision is still available to him if they make a case against him?
Yeah, but the politics has changed since 2015. We don't have, you see, the mistake he made, Nigeria was better in the past, 10, 15 years ago. At least our judiciary it's not been Shariaized like we have it now. In Nigeria,
sure?
Things change. It's still
bad. How many people do you know are in awaiting trial 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and they've not even heard their case?
Yeah, I mean, but all I'm saying is that it was better then. It's not. I'm not saying it was perfect then. They had some respect. There was still separation. Somebody could go to court then, and then get some kind of justice, right? Trustworthy, relatively speaking. Unlike today, see, it changed when Buhari came in and he fired Chief Justice Onagin illegally, right? In our constitution, you're supposed to fire a Chief Justice with 2/3 from the Senate. A president cannot remove it.
So no, hold that thought here. He's supposed to get 2/3 before he fires them. As a citizen, the lawmakers are working for you and I. They are adversary. We are adversary to them. They are representing us. And we have this knowledge. Let me say, you have this knowledge. As a citizen, your duty and role is to ask your lawmaker as to why the process was not followed accordingly as it should be. So, you see why I keep saying that it is us, the citizens? You just highlighted an important point. For him to do that, he must get the 2/3 of the House of Senate. And these people are representing you and I. So if they fail to do their job, you and I should not fail to do our job.
Right. That is true. But some of us are.
Most of us are.
Yeah. Some of us are doing that. right? A lot of Nigerians first of all, they were against Buhari doing that, and they spoke out against it. A lot of our jurists, a lot of people wrote articles. You could Google it. But there's a fundamental.
Let me go to Iguse so that we don't. Iguse, the floor is yours. You'll be following the discussion. You want to weigh in on it? Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. May look at the case. May look at Nigeria. You and I know that Nigeria has become a fair state. Judiciary, we are talking about it. We found out that there's a lot of problem in judiciary. The woman the Tinubu appointed to be the Chief Justice of the Federation, you need to look at her history. What is her history? The same woman that sees somebody that become fourth in an election in Imo State and made him number one. You not talk about the second, you not talk about the third, you just pick fourth person and make him the governor. Then what do you expect that the woman will give? It's part of them. Judiciary have a pocket and nothing can do about it. Secondly, you talk about our Senate, House of Assembly, and all the rest of them. I want you to understand this very thing. There's something that happening in Nigeria, even Uganda. Recently, there is two boys that was arrested. A TikTok displayer. They were arrested. What did they arrest them in Uganda? Because they make a display of the president and his son. And you know that president of Uganda is up to 100 years old right now. A longest serving president in Africa, in fact in the whole world. Now, what did they do? They arrested, they said that the police have made a constitution. If you dare say anything against the president, you will get locked up. This is exactly the thing Buhari introduced his own regime, that if you dare say the truth of anything that concerns, even a press, next thing they come and knock at your door and pick you up. So they use this thing to put fear in the mind of the citizen. Okay, watch what happened this month. All these underage children, they are arrested and they tell them because they demonstrate against hunger protests, they carry Russian flag. They were detained and took to the court. What are they doing to do? What are trying to do in that country to put fear on other people that are planning to protest in it? That's what they did. They did not arrest them because they feel like arresting them. They just want to use them as an example to discourage anybody who plan to do any protest. I want us to understand this clearly. So what they are doing is that when they put the fear in you, you're no longer going to have the strength to do something. Especially when you're in Nigeria, the people that have the power, the strength to say something, to act on anything, is people who are in diaspora. I want you to understand it. Now, the only way the citizen of Nigeria can react over some certain situation that happens in Nigeria is when the thing comes to the neck, or they have been pushed to the wall, and the gravity they were pushed to the wall will make them to bounce back on them. But for now, I have to be sincere to you. They have done a lot of things that will make the citizen to do what, to have fear about it. Okay, could you imagine in House of Senate, in today's House of Assembly, they have never summoned Mr. President asking, where did you get the money to buy the private jets? Because all of them.
That is what we are discussing. Before you go ahead, hold on, Pastor. Could you clarify this, please? Somebody said Yakubu is a professor of history in Harvard, and you said he studied
Gorilla. Yeah. I posted for you on the private section his profile, so you could, if you could show that to Niger Man on.
Hold on, Mohamed Yakubu's profile. Let me just give me 1 second. Mohamed, we need to put out the truth there. Mohamed Yakubu. The chairman independent. Go ahead, keep talking.
All right. So if you watch it, if they cannot open their mouth and ask the president who approved the money, who did this, you know that all of them have the pockets. Now, I want us to understand, because this one I'm pointing out this, I want us to understand the present condition of this politician have put Nigerians. Then, in the time of Buhari, there is they say that they have a national flag carrier. Till today, nobody have talked about the money that involved, billions of naira that are involved in those things. This will tell you that some few people have pocketed Nigeria. Then you said that how do we react to what they do? Now, how to react to what they do is to also have every Nigerian to have what is called sit at home protest nationwide. But this
hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Even though let the record reflect, Wikipedia is not 100% a trusted website, but according to what I'm reading here, okay, in northern Nigeria, he completed his basic and secondary education, could be this and that. Respectfully, he proceeded to University of Sokoto, where he became the first and as 2050, only Nigerian from the north to obtain a first degree certificate in history. At postgraduate level, he studied international relations at Wolfson College, graduating with master's degree and Nigerian history and so passed. I don't know where you got this. I'm looking at Wikipedia as well too. Could you tell us where you found that, please, in Wikipedia?
Yeah, I posted the link right there. It's Wikipedia. If you click that and go to career, which I also posted the text.
Okay, career. Yakubu is a lecturer, guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare expert, and a professor of political history and international studies. So, and I click on guerrilla warfare in form of unconventional warfare in which small groups of irregular means such as rebels, partisans, paramilitary, and personal armed civilians, including recruited children, use ambushes, sabotage. So what you are alluding to, your assertion is because they have this knowledge, is using it to his advantage. Is that what you're saying for the record, so that record can reflect that, please?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that he is not only an expert but a professor, a lecturer in guerrilla warfare, which is asymmetric warfare. But when you have somebody who knows that warfare is not just carrying AK-47. You go to war. You go to war on the ballot itself, which is more effective. He's doing a warfare.
He's using his background,
right?
So in bringing it into the electoral system,
bringing down the enemy. Exactly.
Okay,
that will be
good.
His enemy. Will be somebody like Peter Obi. It's a natural enemy for the North. And
Pastor, I don't want us to go. I don't want us to go there. Don't personalize it, please. I don't want us.
No problem.
We are in the country. We all go, whether it's P2B or anybody. It doesn't make. I don't want us to go there, please. Let's have an educated discussion as we are having right now. And I'm going to ask you questions.
Would you allow me to? There was something you said earlier.
What did I
where
say?
You said that we're all one. We should be one. Right?
Yeah.
We should be one.
If possible.
If possible. Yes, that's ideal. But how do you become one? Number one, you have to be one by telling the truth. You have to be scientific, right? You cannot do it by placating. You cannot tolerate evil. In order to be one, because that's if we're one, we don't have any problem. That should be the goal. But then what's the strategy to be one? You cannot be one with somebody who's supporting the wrong thing. Do you understand? The only way Nigerians can be one is to support the truth. We have to support the truth. We have to support justice. No justice, no peace. Things have to be, in essence, I see you have somebody else here too, but think about it. How do you become one?
I want to chip in something because Pastor Andrew, when he was giving some illustration earlier stage, he talked about Sarowiwa. I think, am I correct?
Correct.
Now, when he talk about it, he talk about the electricity problem in Nigeria and how to resolve the problem and how to do it. Let me tell you the truth. The truth about it is that the problem we have in Nigeria is that when I'm facing a problem, and I'm trying to air my views. And all of us here, Passat, because of the thing does not affect him, he keep quiet over it. That does not concern him. Now, that's the problem we have in Nigeria. But if I'm started shouting that this thing that I'm facing is very bad, and Passat show a concern that this thing is not good, that we need to look into it. Now, that time we have started having the sense of belonging. We have started having a sense of being one. Now, when Southeast is crying, or let me say, when South is crying over pollution and the rest of them, what did the Southeast do? What did the Southwest do? What did it not do? We kept quiet because it does not concern us. Now, Southeast have been crying now. Then South are kept quiet. Southwest are kept quiet because they are in the position of presidents. There's no way we are keeping quiet and all of us are going to become one and fight them. All these politicians, they have gathered themselves together. They have become one to do whatever thing that concerns them. But in terms of election, they will divide it in order to achieve their own personal goals. So for us to achieve our own personal goal is when we understand what it takes to understand other people's pain, to understand how to back up other people when they have a problem. Then I come with this submission. I was watching a program, one of a professor in US. He stepped into a class. When he stepped into a class, what did he do? He just pointed to one girl at hand and said, stand up. The girl stand up. He asked the girl to walk out of the classroom. The girl was trying to understand what she committed, the reason why he asked him to walk out of the classroom. Not every member in that class did nothing. Nobody agitated, nobody defended her. And the professor insists that she must leave. And when she left the classroom, the professor trying to make them to understand that what they did is wrong. That he did that for him to know the reactions of every member of the class, but nobody reacted. They should know how to be watch each other's back. That the younger did nothing, but he did it for him to understand how united they are. But they found out they're not united.
Okay.
That's how it is in Nigeria.
I'm looking for that video. I know the video you're talking about. So,
okay, you know the video I'm talking about. Okay.
If I find it, I will play it. But I think if I find it, I will play it. I know the video you're talking about.
Okay.
That is why. Hold on one second. Okay, finish your thought. Go ahead.
If the citizens of Nigeria can react to that video, that can come to understanding of that video, this is the only way we can come together to fight against this politician. But I want you to understand this thing. All these politicians, when they come in three ways.
Okay. Hold that thought today, please. Hold on one second. Peter, welcome to the platform. I believe you've been following us. But before you speak, let me just highlight one thing about what you said. And I think if you have been following earlier, I did mention what affects you to affect me. I should be concerned about it, for the record to reflect that as well too. And the issue of impunity, I did state, is across board in that country. Every region is facing it. So we have to be united in that, not selective thing we do. I did state that for the record. Peter Igwe, the floor is yours. Then the pastor, I have a lot of questions I want to put to you. Peter Igwe, the floor is yours. You're muted, please.
Thank you, and I greet everyone in the house. So I just started following you within, I think, from the when you and our PM did some direction. So from there that I started following you. So in what you people are discussing this night is interested. So that is why I said I should come in and
Are you still there or are you frozen? It appears it's frozen.
so I didn't have much thing to say.
All right. Thanks for joining. Much
Thank you
appreciated.
for your program.
Okay. Pasat, in the matter of appointing judges, what is the process?
Well, it's in section 6 of our constitution.
What did he say?
It says, section 6 of our constitution is that the judicial powers of the federation shall be vested in the courts to which this particular section that I cited is established. The powers of a state shall be vested in the courts to which the section relates, being courts established subject as provided by the constitution itself. The courts to which the section relates established by the constitution for the federation and for the states specified in subsection 5A to 1 of that section. I don't know if you want us to go through all that.
Yeah, if we can pinpoint exactly the process.
Yeah. The process of what? It's a creation of the constitution itself. So it's not something that anybody could have.
If a judge is to be appointed,
okay,
do they need to go through what do we call it?
But the way it works is that the Nigerian Judicial Council can nominate somebody to the governor of the state, right?
Are they presented to the House of Assembly already?
It first goes to the governor. If it's a state issue, if it's a federal issue, it goes to the president, right?
Okay.
Who will then nominate that person. He doesn't have to take it from the Judicial Council, right? You could submit, and then he would say, I don't want any of these. I will send my brother there instead. The president is not bound, or the governor is not bound if it's a state issue.
To accept it.
Then it goes to the National Assembly. Where
Thank you. That is what I want you to say. I know where I'm going. I'm familiar. I just want you to mention that. It goes to the National Assembly. For what purposes, please?
Right. So they'll have a consent. There'll be a hearing. They want
to
consent to it. Right.
Thank you. And like I said again, these people works for you and I. So if we don't like the way they work for you, we'll come back. You see, we're going to go around in circle and come back to the same point again. And that's why I said I've always stand on that ground. That place, the red and blue chamber, if we can get it right, if we the people can get that part right, then we are up to getting to that promised land. We are one step into the promised land.
Could I point something out to you very quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's why I said with INEC, it's like putting water in a woven basket. These people you see in that National Assembly were not elected by the people. Those governors were not elected by the people. It's not just the presidency. The elections are rigged. I want you to know that the people do vote. Let's take a number of, Imo State, for example, right? That guy there, Hope Ozodema, is not chosen by the people. So he, in fact, would then has a lot of influence. It's not the people at all. The fresh crop you have, hardly anybody there is chosen by the people. So you cannot blame the people.
Okay.
The people know what's good for them, but recently they opened their eyes. So now what these corporates did is to capture INEC. It's the Supreme Court now that pretty much determines who's in the House, who's in the Senate, who's the governor, who's the president. That's it. You cannot.
I want to moderate now. I want to talk less now, Pastor. So, going by what you just said, they were not elected, or they are not elected by the people. Let's assume this your argument is correct.
They were selected.
Hold on one second. Hold on, you could say I'm moderating, so I want to talk. Let's go by that. This your argument is correct, that they are not elected by the people. What then should the people do? I'll start with you, Pastor.
Okay.
I give you 3 minutes. I go to Igusa and I go to Pete. Then we'll go around. Go ahead.
This is the most fundamental issue to be determined before 2027.
Exactly.
And we should also, when we do finally recapture the country from these people who have captured the state, we have to go back, investigate, and punish in the past because it was egregious. What's happening in INEC is egregious. We have to make sure, by all means necessary, that INEC, the pressure, like you said now, can be put on those, the House at all levels. There should be a complete protestation of INEC. There has to be that reform there. There should be a sit-at-home. There should be all kinds of pressure put on the government to make sure that INEC is corrected. If INEC is not corrected, we're wasting our time. They're not hiding it. I want you to understand that.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So once we get INEC right and election, for example, if they choose, because that 2022 Electoral Act is in order, it's sound, right? If they choose electronic, because the INEC, before they publish their handbook, they have a choice to make. They're going to go manual or they're going to go electronic. That is by law. They have to make one of those choices. Once they choose to go electronic, right, that particular precinct, the result must be transmitted from that polling unit to that IREV. If that doesn't happen, that election is canceled. It's not, you don't go and then start contesting it at the Supreme Court. If you transmit the results from that unit to IREV or the ward level and all that stuff, then we're fine. But once they don't do that, their feet must be held to fire. If you're going to do electronically, the result must be in real time transmitted so Nigerians can follow it. So the problem is that if they get away without doing that, so you know what, we don't have to do electronically, but you chose to do it electronically. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor. You've not answered the question, but I'll come back to you. The question is this. I'm coming to you, Eagles here. These individuals were not elected by the people. We are saying, agreeing, if that is the case, just for the purpose of argument. What is expected of the people to do before 2027 in the context of what? Of INEC, based on the Constitution and the selection or selecting of an INEC chairman. Igor sir, you got 3 minutes.
Yeah, the best thing to do as people who are not happy over the situations or people that they are representing themselves in Abuja, not representing the constituency people. First of all, is that just what they call non-kinetic approach to them. What is that non-kinetic? Let the people of that constituency begin to raise alarm against that person that said he representing them that place. Make that person to understand that we did not vote for you. What is INEC that put in that place? Therefore, we are not going to vote for you. We make your things plain and open and begin to agitate for it for initial time and said no. But you know, the problem that we have in Nigeria is these people have come with a weapon of poverty. That somebody may be in a house for work, like a family man, he has 2 children and a wife in your house, and you are not sure of what people are going to eat tomorrow morning. And they have already come and begin to give you 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira so that you vote for them. And when you look at it, you will say, let my children eat tomorrow. Then he collected the 20,000 naira. That's the strategies they are using to do what? To weaponize people, to make people to be weak. And when you look at it, you find out there's a lot of problem in it. So the major problem is that how do we make sure that people in the Senate, House of Assembly, look into the loophole of that Constitution Amendment 2022? Because that Constitution they just give a loophole that INEC may determine results as their own will, not according to the electronic device. And they find out that in that Nigeria, that nation called Nigeria.
Sorry. Where are you quoting from? Which constitutional section of the Constitution states that, please?
I will still go and do research on that constitution, but the constitution makes it shall declare. That's how the word is written, shall declare. So the constitution did not make it mandatory. It must declare it through electronic device.
Okay. Until such time that we provide
now, what I'm trying to
that record is struck off, please. Until such time that
I can also help you with that if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let Pastor to read it out, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna quote from the handbook, which will be section 30, clause 38 of the INEC. See, they're supposed to publish what's going to guide it, but it emanates from the Constitution itself, which I would think will be section between 60 and 65, right? So okay, so if you want me, it's gonna be long.
Read it for us, Pastor. We're having an educated discussion. So read it for us, please.
All right, let's see if it's 60 to 65. All right, it's not that. Okay, you could keep going while I sort it out, because there's two things. We also have
the section 38. You need to check section 38 also. So what I'm trying to say in effect is that they have this political elite have made it in a way that if INEC declare you winner, you already win the case, because they will tell you go to court. Even watching what happened in Edo State, what happened in Edo State is pure clear, or the problem that we're having in that country concerning election. Could you imagine that even the president of Nigeria congratulates the person that they declare winner and say to other people, if you are grievance, go to court. Who are going to judge in the court? Look at the president say that if you are not happy about it, go to court.
Okay.
That means
hold on 1 second. You said we get that point. You said we did not vote for them, for you. You can tell your legislators that you did not vote for you. Now,
seriously.
Okay. In the event that they present the document, the voting document, to say, well, this is the evidence that I was voted for. Whether it is manipulated or this and that, it's neither here or there. But they have the documentation with them that the people voted for them in the context of what? Of the lawmakers. The people voted for them. And you want to dispute that, or you agree with that, either dispute or agree with that. What is the next step? Do you want to weigh in?
The next step that's supposed to be followed, if we agree that what they are doing is not right for us, due time of election, if you know that ballot or that party where they put it, don't ever near to carry anything in order to vote for them. Or the only way to do it, just whether you vote or did not vote, they will still declare a result. So next, what you need to do, let everybody in that constituency rally around and stand firmly for the person they want to vote in for.
Okay.
Even do time of campaign, even do that campaign, you're doing campaign. If they pay people up to come and be in a rally, let nobody attend their rally. A part of agitation. Let nobody attend their rally. Let everybody say no to their rally. If everything, and you, as we are in the air now, we have to stand on the air, because formally, this social media is not popular the way it is before. So also in social media, you have to do what? Air your views, say it out. Let everybody stand on the one broom. Not everybody. say different. This one is saying if you come to a comment section and say somebody that will say something different, in fact, condemning the truth he is saying. So that's the problem we have in Nigeria, and nothing more.
Pastor,
Yeah.
are you ready? Are you ready to read it for us? Did you find it, Pastor? I think Pastor is frozen. Okay. Igwe, you said let everyone rally around together.
Yes.
For the next election. You see, this statement you made here is what I have been talking about. But you see, the clause there is we don't need to wait for 2027 election. Before we rally around one another to what? To recall an elected or a claimed elected representative. So waiting for that 2027, it's a dangerous game to play. You know why I say so? Because we are seeing everything. We've seen and continually see what is playing out, how these people are representing us. And the clause is there that an elected representative, section 68, 69, 110 of the Constitution, can be recalled at any time. At what? At any time. That is a section that what? That has referendum what inserted into it. So waiting till 2027 is a dangerous game for let's see, like what Kulato said. Let me see what Kulato said. Kulato said there is no vacancy in 2027. Don't waste your time. But you see, we can create that vacancy. The people, like I keep saying, the people can make this possible. So we can sit down here and talk. With this argument will never go anywhere.
That's why what they call it in Arise News. I was listening to Arise News yesterday that they invited the national coordinator of obedient movement. He said that they are not going to wait for 2027. That's why they started now to plan against 2027. That's why they have started now to get every route they need to get. I have said in this platform that if we want to get it right, let every one of us here be the part of the politics they are playing. Now, among everybody in Dr. Rudolph's platform, we know who is who. So it is in a constituency, you know who is who. Now, what the people in the diaspora need to do is to make sure that they get their ass together to make sure that we are going to fight for so and so person. We are going to start by him to make sure he get there. Because one is that we cannot stay aside and say that we want to fight this thing. We need to be committed. We need to be part of it. That is true about it. The days have gone when they say that politics are a dirty game. Therefore, you don't want to put your hand in it. No. This is time for us to come out currently now and be part of everything that is going. Even if they cannot put your step, at least can put your finances, can put your words. In one way or the other, because now we need to do in early stages to begin to sensitize our people, begin to sensitize people in Nigeria, make them to understand the suffering you are passing through. How do you see it? How do you look at it? What do we do? So they understand that what they are passing through is based on the mistake they made. Because I keep on saying it, every election has the consequences. The consequences of that election comes in two ways, either negative or positive. But whereby you refuse to recognize the consequences of every election, then whatever thing that comes out of it, you take it.
All right. Thank you. Pastor, thank you for coming back. I think I wrote something down. Rally around each other. Okay. we have to make. Pastor, did you find it? I think we lost you that.
Yeah, I got bad connection. Then I had a call coming in.
Okay,
what was the question again? It was
in terms
on
of
the
INEC chairman appointment of the INEC chairman.
right. There are three things that we're dealing with, three documents. Number one, we're dealing with the Constitution, which we already cited what part of the Constitution established that. Then we're dealing with the Electoral Act of 2022. It's also part of that's where we get confused. I believe that one is 60 to 65 on the Electoral Act. Then we're also dealing with the INEC handbook itself, and that comes in clauses. So that one is clause 38. So I could have you read any of those.
Yeah,
and
you can read. You can read it, Pastor. Like I said, this is my area of that I want to talk about, and that I believe we, the people, our citizens, should start to get ourselves familiar with this and not condemn the Constitution as we've often done.
Right. All right. In the whole, what establishes INEC is the section 153. In that, it established Code of Conduct Bureau. That's, by the way, that's section 1. That shall be established for the Federation the following bodies. Then it names it all the way down. I believe the INEC one comes in, I think it's a J. No, the J is the Nigeria Police. The INEC one will be National Judicial Council. Okay, it's F, 153, 1F, like Frank, Independent National Electoral Commission. So it's constitutional. That particular body is established by Section 153. Now, let's look at Section 60 to 65 of the Electoral Act. Okay, Nigeria. Hopefully it's something that comes right off. Now it's in a PDF format. By the way, do you have ability to show something on the screen? Because I could read it when you put it.
Because if except you,
if you put it on the screen, then I'll read it. I'll give you here.
Put it on the private chat. Let me see if I can copy it and put it.
Okay, it's right there.
Let's see if I can copy it. Let's see first. Okay. Okay. I think I can do this. Okay.
Okay, it's PDF. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Present. Share screen. Share screen. I think it's this one here. Share. So tell me if you are seeing it.
Okay, let me glance at it. So yeah, something is there. So just go to 60 to 65 if I'm not wrong.
I'm trying to. Okay, yeah. 60 to 65. Is it clearer? Can you see it?
Yeah, very clear.
Okay, 60 to 65. 60. This is 8. 60 to 65. 22. 60 to 65. 41. 65 here says 66. 65 says the decision of the returning officer shall be final on any question arising from or relating to unmarked ballot paper, rejected ballot paper, and the declaration of scores of candidates and the return of a candidate, provided that the commission shall have the power within 7 days to review the declaration and return where the commission determines that the said declaration and return was not made voluntarily or was made contrary to the provisions of the law, regulations and guidelines and manual for the election. 2, a decision of the returning officer under subsection 1 may be reviewed by an election tribunal or court of competent jurisdiction in an election petition proceedings under this act. That's 65.
It's to be from 60 60 to 65. I think you just read the last one, which is okay.
Okay, I read the 60. Okay, 60 to 65. Okay, let me go back. 60 years. The presiding officer shall, after counting the votes at the polling unit, enter the votes scored by each candidate in a form to be prescribed by the commission as the case may be. 2. The form shall be signed and stamped by the presiding officer and countersigned by the candidate or their polling agent available at the polling unit. 3. The presiding officer shall give to the polling agent and the police officer where available a copy of each of the completed form after it has been duly signed as provided under subsection 2. 4. The presiding officer shall count and announce the result at the polling unit. Okay, listen. We are familiar with this. Let me come in.
Yeah, that point there is very crucial though. At that polling unit. Yeah,
this is the Electoral Act you just highlighted. There is nothing wrong with that. Do we have an agreement in the letter of the law?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. So it's just that it's not being followed accordingly. Would that be correct?
Exactly.
Okay. So that is why we are now asking, because you see, I've said it over time here. We have good laws. We've just read it now. But if we the people, because INEC chairman today should be, his house should have been pulled by the Senate or the lawmakers to explain what happened. Has that been done?
No.
And the people, which is you and I, when I say the people, that we are supposed to hold these individuals accountable. Are we doing that based on section 69110 of the Constitution? The answer is no.
No, but electricity, a little correction. If you look at that 60 clause 6, right? You're looking at the 60 itself now. So it says 60 number 6 says a presiding officer who willfully contravenes any provision of this section commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not more than 500,000 or imprisonment for a term of at least 6 months, right? It says what should happen to any INEC official, including the chairman, who contravenes any of these things, any of these clauses here, which is very, very important. You see, it's not the people. Let me post for you clause 38, because you see, it's methodical the way they made it. See, this clause 38, then it's modular. It goes to this as far as it goes to the Constitution itself, right? On this clause 38, INEC is mandated to publish, number one, the date of the election, and then they're given a choice. They have to, now this is before the election, they have to choose, are you going to go manual or are you going to go electronic? It's up to them. They will have a meeting, they will have a vote. It's not the chairman alone, it will be the entire commission would vote and say, okay, we're going to go electronic. Once you make that decision, then you're bound by this 60 to 65. So on this, their clause 38, they made a decision. Okay, so we could read that now because I posted it for this particular reason. This is not about talking. I don't see 38, I see 39. Is that the first?
In order not to go back and forth on this issue,
yeah,
a decision was to reach to what to conduct this the election electronically.
Right.
Would that be correct?
That's correct.
However, something happened along the way. It was switched off or whatever was done. We all agree on that. They said it themselves. Now, the question is this. Our lawmaker who are responsible, you said something there, they should be adversary. Even though pursuing the same goal, the adversary in one way, checking each other. That's checking each other. We are not focusing on where you and I have power in that 3 arms of government, where you and I have power to hold anyone accountable is the legislative arm. That is where you and I, the citizens, have power. We don't have it on the executive or the judiciary. We have it on what? On the our legislators when things are not right. That is our focus. Let's focus on that.
Okay.
The floor is yours. Ibu, sir, are you still there? Okay.
Yeah, you could
Pastor, go
always
ahead.
come in.
Go ahead.
That is the catch-22. That is the dilemma. We need the commission to follow the law. If they don't follow the law, it's one of these bodies that have to hold them accountable. It's not the people. The only where the people should come in, I can't discuss it on your program, what we should do, because you don't like that kind of talk. There's the people are sovereign. Do you follow me? The people are sovereign.
It's freedom of first and foremost. Let me commend you. Okay, I have to commend you for the decorum you've upheld so far. If we continue in this decorum, we're going to have issues. So it's a compliment. I commend you. But it's freedom of speech. It can be put. It's a choice of words now we have to use. So what do you think the people should do?
All right, very good.
That's
Before I answer that question, with you, are there settled issues whereby there's no need to debate this or debate that? It is now settled, for example, that, as an example, democracy is better than communism or dictatorship.
Of course, that is
okay,
agreed.
So that's settled. I'm using that as an example. Okay. In our country, are there things that are settled? For example, do you believe we have two conflicting traditions that are at war with one another? You have an Islamic tradition and you have a Christian tradition in our country. Do you see that? People make the case. I make the case. You don't like to talk about it, but I want to know exactly.
You said
are you
Islamic
avoiding
tradition,
it?
And Christian tradition.
Western, they call it Western tradition.
What is a tradition? Can you expatiate further on that?
Yeah, in politics, it is known there are two traditions, what they call traditions. Anybody could Google it. I'm not making it up. In politics, international relations, there are two traditions. You have the Islamic tradition, then you have the Western tradition. So we live at the intersection. There are some countries who've been through that, like India, Pakistan, right? You have what's going on in Gaza. You have other areas where countries come into an intersection whereby they're like this, right? Americans fired it all the time. Britain fired it. Every country fired it. You're either going with Islamic tradition or you're going with the Western tradition. So we are that intersection. We have to live with the truth. We have to be honest. Unless we understand this and then figure if there's a solution, because there's no solution to it. Unfortunately.
No, that is sorry for I'm going to rebut that.
Okay.
I'm going to push back on that.
That's fine.
We've just read the act and the constitution. If you read it, let me know, because you are distracted. We just read the act and we read every other thing. So this is a question I'm going to put to you. Let's, for an hypothetical situation now. If Tinubu, T-Pain, as they address him, aka T-Pain, is adhering to the letters of the Constitution or Electoral Act, if the lawmakers are adhering to the letters of the law, if the citizens we are practicing the role and duty of good citizens, and we have a functional country, functional institution, will it matter to you if the president is from Kafanchan or from my region? Will it matter to you based on your argument? Okay.
No.
So
personally, I don't care wherever the president comes from. What I care for Nigeria to work.
For Nigeria to work. So irrespective of the traditions you're talking about, the two traditions and we are intersection. We want something to work. So
That is
if we
correct.
can focus on that.
Okay, but let me you have to be methodical, right? You have to be scientific. A lot of things is by observation. That's a scientific method. That's why I posed that question to you. Now remember, me who is pointing out this, I'm not. It's not my issue. It's not. It's just the true and false of it. True or false? We have a country where Boko Haram is ravishing the country, right? Picking up girls from secondary school, hundreds. There's never been one case where they're brought to court, right? And said, okay, look, let's try you. That's one. You have a country where the legislators, the laws are being carried out based on religion. But you can also look outside of our country and look at other countries who went through a similar thing. At some point, you're going to have to solve that problem. Because once we solve that problem, we're going to be fine. You have a country
now,
where...
I want to come in this place now.
Go ahead.
Based on what you're saying, I watched a Shure podcast day before yesterday, and he was saying something based on what is going on in Nigeria. And he said that as long as what he knows concerning Nigeria government and what happened during the civil war till today, there is a record, there is agreement that an Igbo man cannot be trusted to become the president of Nigeria.
Let me correct that.
I want to say something.
Hold on 1 second, Igbo sir. He didn't say there's a record. It's just making an argument that maybe there's something hidden somewhere that nobody knows about.
Where it is.
He didn't say there is a specific record. Let's put the
he said that he cannot give details where it is. Even their father, even his father, all say it to them. It's on record. Even in national news, they have already said it out. Now, I want to say something concerning this because we are trying to make things to be open. The problem of Nigeria till today, as a result of history that died up in Nigeria. You see, this history, the omitted in Nigeria school curriculum, is creating a lot of problem in Nigeria. Electricity, you that are talking about Sarowiwa, do you know that there's a lot of children right now who don't know where the man came from, who don't know what the man did for South.
Okay, let me ask you a question. The
Go
children
ahead.
are going to school. Do they have parents? Just a stupid question I'm asking.
They have parents.
And their parents are aware that they don't teach history in the school?
Many of them knows about it.
And the parents knows where their lawmakers are?
Are they blind? Are they not the one that voted?
You've answered the question, yes. You see, our problem is not far away. It's right under our nose. We think we have to go to heaven or to go to somewhere and bring the solution. It's right under our nose. Go ahead, Pastor.
That's right, because that's why I came to you. You make that case, but then you have to first agree to the problem, right? If you want all the citizens to act, you want to say, okay, look, we have a problem. Where this problem coming from? Are they ideological? Are they regional? Are they religious? Are they tribal? Or all of the above? If they are, what should the citizens do about it? I'm here trying to say to you that there are things that I have observed, and that those are permanently solved. I want you to agree with me that yes, we have this problem, we have that problem. We're not going to be here debating whether we have that problem or not tomorrow. If you can stipulate with me right now that we have religious problem in the country, we're sitting at an intersection of north and south dividing the country, even up to political levels. We're sitting at a religious divide between Christians and Muslims in the country, and further division, subdivision of Shia and Sunnis, right? For example, Zaki has in Zaria 2015, his members decimated over 1,000 of our fellow citizens.
Let me ask you a question. You want me to agree with you on this religious, tribal, and ideological
yes, not agree with me. Either agree or disagree.
Okay.
In essence, let me hear your take on that.
Right now,
it is on record. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to say something because this religious of a thing. There is something that I was playing in National Assembly concerning Sharia law, whether they will make it general or not. Secondly, Tinubu just came back from Saudi Arabia, from what they call it Islamic Islamic country leaders summit. Now he went to represent Nigeria. Now, if you watch in that representation, he went to represent Nigeria. He's trying to make them to understand Nigeria is an Islamic nation. I want us to understand it clearly. In National Assembly.
Hold on, you go say. You just said he went to represent us, and he make it clear to them, or he's trying to make it clear to them that Nigeria is a Muslim country. Is that what you just said?
By identifying himself as the president of Nigeria under Islamic summit of the president, that means he's trying to make Nigeria to be an Islamic nation.
That's your assumption. Is that correct?
It's not assumption because he identified whatever thing he identified with is part of you. Let's say the truth.
Go ahead.
Now,
let's have electricity on record, though. And then you come back in. Egul, it's very important that electricity either stipulate or disagree with his reason. Do we have traditional, the things that we talked about, tribal and then regional,
tribal and religion issue,
and then
I'm
regional?
not disagreeing with that. We have it's used to divide us.
That's what politicians use. That's what the politicians use these days.
But you and I have a responsibility, Pansat, particularly sitting down here and Eagles here or anyone who come here. We have a responsibility to
say no.
Change that narrative and push back.
Okay,
they use it to divide us.
Okay, let me be hard
if we choose to.
Right. Unfortunately, it's impossible. They won't come here. Forget about politicians now. The Muslims will not come on for a dialogue here. They educate. Look, Dr. Damages is so fair to a fault. You know, I criticize him. I say, look, you're too good. You're making this thing to where it's not fair, right? And you and I will fight about this. I'm saying that it's not the politicians. Is the people themselves from there, right? They're supposed to come on these Nigerian platforms, right? And then we have a dialogue. We talk. Why should I be here defending them when they're not here? And their people are causing a lot of problem in the country. I have to tell you. Do you see what I mean?
You use the word they are supposed to come. They are not supposed to.
As Nigerians. As Nigerians, right?
The panelists and those in the comment section, they come from different tribes and religions.
Except theirs. You're not going to tell me something I observe every weekend here.
Listen,
when you guys are
AY
on,
is a Muslim. AY is not here. AY is a Muslim.
No.
Okay?
AY is an all-one-bay Muslim. I'm talking about real Muslims in the north.
Listen, Pastor, if we want to go there, then we are being personal. And I'm going to say this to you. Yeah, because no. Like I said, you've maintained good decorum. Keep on it. If you can
don't expect this after today. I'm not going to be like that. I can never be like that.
No, 1 second.
Only today I'm going to be like this with you.
No, it's going to, well, you can do that with other moderators, but I can guarantee you with me, going forward, this is how you are going to be. You are going to maintain the highest of decorum. You see,
we'll see about that.
The ones that have been on this platform, you will be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves here. I hate to be personal. You yourself contributed to driving them away with your actions and your behavior. particularly with Maska.
Can I answer that? Let me answer that. See, you hear me here talk about minorities all the time, and I say they're the problem, right? It's not just the South that you have minorities. Maska is a good guy, right? He wants to be one of us. But he's a minority, or even in his place, they will do to him. He's not happy about them. He has no freedom of speech. Maska is not the people I'm talking about, right?
So which people are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the core people who hold the power in the north, the Fulanis. Fulani
So you want them
Muslims.
to come here?
No, wait a minute. I want Nigerians to come together. How are you going to come together when even at the basic level, the grassroots, that's us, right? We're here talking about Nigerian problems. We're here talking about Northerners are being kids put in courts, being tried, right? All of us condemn it. All of us demand that they be released, right? Minors protesting. Or Boko Haram goes into the north, pick up secondary schools. Or me, I just talked about Zaria, 2015, December, how Sunni Muslim, the officials like the chief of army staff, goes there, massacre so many people. These are not my people, but I'm fighting for them. Or you heard me say, look, in Benue, that they're IDP camps. These are people, for example, the protagonists of the war, genocidal war against my people, come from there. But I'm fighting for them. I don't want them in IDP camps. So now, if you want Nigerian polity to be one of the things you should come here and say is, hey, look, where are these people? We're Nigerians, we're one on this platform, especially this platform is fair to all. You're going to be welcome here. Now, what I say to Maska is that, Maska, you want to be one of the guys, you're supposed to come here, and you're going to say, my people turned up their beavers, my people are not going to school, and I'm gonna tell them now that they're gonna knock it off, right? Just catharsis. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Go ahead.
Respectfully, we can't do that because these people, they have their own right and will. Listen, this is a counsel I'm going to give to you. Okay, based on what you just said, you don't have to take it, but it would be nice. Take it, I mean, on advice. Let me the way they normally put it. Take it on advice. You said you're fighting for them. You are supporting them. All I will say is keep doing it. Don't expect anything in return from them, whether they applaud you or they don't applaud you. Like what Eagles said, it's let's make it our concern. They don't have to applaud us. Coming here, sitting down here. Do you think I'm paid? Nobody's paying us. Udov is not paying us. He's not paying me. Sometimes I come here to while away my sorrows and talk and this and that. So just keep doing it. If we keep focusing on this, the core people here, you don't even know whether they are doing it in their own little corner. They don't have to come to this space.
Yeah, let me say,
Iguse,
I don't know
let Iguse speak.
After you, I want to respond to that. Go ahead.
Okay, Iguse, the floor is yours.
All right. Based on religion, we are talking about it. I want you to understand that sometimes the problem we have in religion that we make ourselves to be too religious. And once we make ourselves to be too religious, that's when they will take advantage of that. Personally, I'm a Christian. I teach Bible, I read Bible. But I will not allow for you to take advantage of that Bible I read over me, to place me in a place that is wrong. I will say no. I will say no to it. I have to stand on the truth. Even if you are my bishop, you ordain me to work under you, but I found out that the area they are leading me is not right. I will say no. It's not right. So the problem is that when they find out, those politicians, when they find out that we are too religious, they take advantage of that. And once they take advantage of that, they divide us for it. That's the problem. They will come and tell you, I'm a Christian. How are you going to vote for a Muslim wherever I live your brother as a Christian? And somebody is telling you that vote for me because I'm a Christian. When you look at his life, everything that smells out of him is corruption, and disaster. Because of is a member of your church or a Christian, He said, let me vote him in. Then what do you expect they're going to give that place? So it is a Muslim. You know that your brother is not a good person. Is very terrible. Because he's your brother, say, hey, let my brother go there. Let my brother go. And when he go, he mess everything up. That's the problem we are facing in Nigeria. But if we can tell ourselves truth, as electricity is, that I know that if I send it that place, out of anger, he'll slap somebody. Or you just back up a constitution that will put people in prison. I know that it will be harmful to me and harmful to the Nigeria. I will not vote for him. I will not allow, in fact, I will not encourage him to go. That's the main issue. But when we say that this person is my own, this person is my own, let him go, whether it's good or bad, whether it's good or bad, at the end of the day, we come back with nothing. Now you go there and mess everything up. But when I see Passat is right, despite that I have dispute with him, despite that when he come on platform, he talk to me anyhow, ask me to go to hell. But I know that when he go, he represents me very well. What do? I will back him up. Despite we have dispute, but for him to go and represent us where it matters to me and nothing more.
All right. I want
That's
to
how
highlight
life is.
something. Sorry. I didn't want to pay attention much on the comment section so that it doesn't derail our discussion. I find this curious. How come your state governors from Southeast are collecting loans from Islamic banks? I don't know how accurate this statement is. Passat.
Yeah,
Can
you
you
couldn't. I'm not sure they're doing that, but I couldn't push it past them, right? I
Okay,
couldn't
all right.
trust these governors more than I could
Okay.
throw them, right? These are
So,
not.
so you can see that the issue is beyond what you and I. The issue is a listen.
Let me say something concerning that alone. As long as it's all about taking loan. Taking loan does not ask where you come from. It's not Tinubu that travel to what they call it, BRICS. It's not Tinubu that they went for BRICS. Are they going to BRICS for them to become war power? They're going there so that they can grant them loan of 5 billion. That's the purpose of going there. And the money is not that they are going to bring the money to develop Nigeria. They are bringing the money to share it. So it is all these Southeast governors. So when they go to the loan, like IMF, what IMF used to do, they will tell you the policy, they will tell you what to do in your economy. If you accept, then they give the loan to you. If not accept,
Okay.
they will not give the loan to you.
All right. Let's look
I
at
would
this
like
now.
to, by the way, after you're gonna read this.
Hold on one second, Pastor.
Yeah.
I just highlighted something here. You see, I like this discussion we're having because why I said I do love it is it's doing two things for me. One, we are focusing on accountability, the constitutions, legislations, the absence of rule of law. And two, it's helping me to calm down. I know why I said something personal. But here it says, why not speaking about breaking news on redacted info from the USA? CIA via a judge has declined to release Tinubu's drug case, citing the person is an asset and may compromise their national security. Pastor, this is what you raised up.
Yes.
Would that be correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I want us to what? For the remainder time that we have, I want us to dissect this thing. And I want us to be honest, truthful in this regard. Because if we are not, then we just close shop and go home for the night. So, this is a fact which you brought up earlier and which I just scrolled through and I saw it. Okay. Whose tax, please, Pastor Tanigu said, I need both of you to be honest and truthful in this regard. Who is taxed in respect to this allegation to what? To hold the presidency accountable, or to ask the president for an explanation in the interest of our own national security. I'll start with you first, Pastor. You are muted, Pastor.
Okay. I was muted, and before I tackle that, I think you gave me like 3 minutes. Let me spend 30 seconds to say. So far, I have not got you to commit to settle the issues. I believe you stipulated generally we have problems to the north and south, Muslims, Christians, and all kinds of things. The reason why I want you to commit to this is so that we don't keep debating it, but we start looking for solutions. It's not a sentimental issue.
Are you referring to the ideological, religious, and tribal issue you're talking about?
That we have in our country, that we cannot solve the problem. Pardon?
You said I should commit to it.
And say, yes, we have this problem. And say,
I think you should rephrase your word, the choice of words, saying I should commit to something. I think you should rephrase.
Okay, how would you put it?
It's like you're telling me
I want to be settled.
I have to commit it. I have to agree with you.
I want you or disagree.
Okay,
right?
And I did say, for the record, that this issue you raise up, they are used to divide us. It is a problem. I'm not disputing that it's not a problem.
Okay.
However, they use it to divide us. Because why? Because let me finish.
Yeah.
Because you and I are married to these people with different religion.
Not me, but some people.
No, I'm just, when I say you and I don't mean you.
I got you. Yeah.
So we're married. We interact with each other. If you getting a boss, I often use this as an example. Pansa, be honest with yourself. Have you ever asked, is this bus driver a Muslim or a Christian? No. Is this taxi driver a Muslim or a Christian? Is this my landlord a Muslim or a Christian? Is this booker I'm going to eat a Muslim or a Christian person that is running it? We don't consider that. We just go and accept it and go in that. So they use it to divide you and I. And it's time for you and I to wake up and say, no, you're not going to use this to divide me and Pansat or Eagles Air or Masca again. Because why? We want the same thing. We want a working government. But saying you want me to commit, I have issue with that phrase of word.
Okay.
So,
let me finally, on that point, I'm saying that all the way back, I guess it was 1979, we have what's called the federal character principle, right? Even before that, it was decreed by the military. You have to make every part of that country believe that they are part of the country. So in that federal character doctrine, it permeates through our government, our institutions. You cannot, for example, start doing a Muslim ticket and then you're going to leave out Christians when you do that. You're going back, right? You cannot do where a lot the federal institutions are in the north and you don't have them in the south, or you cannot do where Southerners commit a crime like Emefiele or anybody they're holding, but Northerners are not. So the federal character, emanating from, by the way, Section 37 of our Constitution, which then created an agency for this. The Northerners are, and Muslims are eviscerating these things. That's who you need to talk to now. Once you mention Northerners or Muslims, your ear go like this, right?
But Pansat, that's not the case. No, Pansat, we've been doing.
Have you heard about that federal character? Do you know what it is?
Yes, Pansat.
Okay,
I've heard about it. We will way into this federal character some other day. I will give you that opportunity. You will be the guest. We'll wait, and I'll put questions to you. Some of the questions you will not be comfortable with.
Okay,
but
then I'm good with that. You promised to do that.
I promise to do that. Okay. All right. I hold you there. Hold me to that task. I don't know.
Let's talk about this Tinubu case of
Okay. That's actually why I came here. I brought it up when I came.
And I asked
yeah.
a question. Well, sorry, hold on, you said. When Pansat brought this up, just for the purpose of the audience and for the record, when you raised it up, I did ask, is there anyone in that country in a position of leadership that are not an asset or compromised already? I'm going to let me give my piece, then I'll leave the floor to you people.
Okay.
Yeah,
you go to Eagles Air, then you come to me. That's fine.
Yeah. Let me give you my own piece in this regard. I don't think any president ever in that country is not compromised. Buhari, Abacha, good Lord Jonathan. This is me speaking. I don't have my evidence, but given to the way they behave, I don't think none of them, every one of them, are compromised. Have been compromised. Even our lawmakers, the people lobby for something. They are compromised. In fact, if care is not taken, they are all assets. So saying Tinubu is an asset to the US and may compromise their national security, to me, that is not a breaking news. It doesn't move me one bit. I have to be honest with you. However, it still boils down to the same thing I keep saying. If we know this, now that we know it, the question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to fold our hands and say Serahai, whatever will be, will be? The future is not ours to see. We don't have control. We are helpless. We can't do anything. Kulata said there is no vacancy come 2027. So Wike is an asset. I'm mentioning names. I'll tell you, they're all assets. They can challenge me on it. And I just need to cite one or two things. And they will tell you that, yes, they are assets. So that is my own opinion. Oh, no, not opinion. I beg your pardon. I redraw. That is my own take on this in this regard. Tinubu is the president. If it's an asset to the US government, in what capacity? To sell the country? Has the country not been sold? I don't understand. So it's up to the both of you to make an argument. Thank you. Igwe said, stay on this issue.
Thank you so much. What you said concern all these leaders within the National Assembly, whether they're compromised or not, they are compromised 100%. And I use Gaduje as an example. When he stood up in the House of Senate and said, and he appointed, what is his name? This current president, what is his name? Akpabio, Godswill Akpabio. He appointed them and said that, I don't know how you people made it to, you even big form for a presidential nomination form. But I don't know how you people make it again in primary to have your own position to come for a Senate. Even him, his wife, who is a chief judge, granted victory over some of few people in this house. So in this time of people to pay me back, people betrayed me. Yatuje said it. It's on record. The video is out there in YouTube. Now, when you talk about Tinubu, let me tell you, the Westerners, they have eyes in Nigeria because they know that when they capture Nigeria, hold Nigeria, all the rest of Africa that holding them, and do not expect the chief judge that holding this case in America to do what, to bring it out or to declare all these informations, make it public. She cannot do that. Reason: if you watch last Saturday, is it a Saturday that we have David Udeni here? There's some certain things that he said. That as long as what they call is Biden and co are concerned, this kind of thing are not going to be make open. But they still believe that the case they are making out of it, they can come out positive. But for him, he know that there's no positive about it. Because one, if they hold Tinubu with that case, in order to do whatever thing they demand or required of him, he will be doing it to them. But if it's somebody like Trump, who is a Republican, is there, they don't have any interest of any such. But the US and Western, they have interest in Nigeria because they get a lot of things they get from
What
Nigeria.
are you on about, Igusa? You said Trump will not have interest if on Tinubu, if it's a CIA asset.
Trump don't have that kind of he don't have any that kind of this interest in it, because Trump is the type that Trump is the type that what he talk every time is about ours, about US, about white. He don't talk about every other issues. That's why he's trying to this current one now.
Listen, let's do this. Let's do this. Sorry for interjecting. Listen, do you understand what an asset is? If somebody's an asset, it's a question I'm asking.
Yes.
And do you understand the position of the president of Nigeria?
Yes.
Do you understand the enormous power he has?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that the president is equally the minister of petroleum or whatever it is, the way they call it? Do you understand that?
That's what he is today.
Do you understand it? Any
That makes me an
president,
asset
if
to
the
them now.
argument is correct, if this allegation is correct, no person sitting in the White House will not have interest in it. Let me just make that clear to you. So don't make defense or argument for Trump that because he's talking white, this and that. Listen, some countries are surviving today as a result of what they get from Nigeria.
Sure.
Assad, the floor is yours. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I want everybody to wax their ears, because this is not one of those normal stuff. You accuse Tinubu of selling drugs, or you do this, you doing that. Okay, that's different. If we have an active CIA asset, in other words, spy, right? You cannot confuse this with, they say, the CIA agent or employee, analyst, something like this. Is nothing but a person who spies on their own country, right? Who's spying on behalf.
That's one of the that's one of the most grievous offense that anyone can commit.
It's treason.
It's beyond treasonable. Let me use that word. Just for
Exactly.
equal purposes.
Right. It is so serious and egregious. There's treachery involved. There's betrayal involved. There's disloyalty, deception, perfidy, right? Deceit and infidelity. Faithlessness. It is so dangerous that no country in the world, be it the Vatican or the United States, condones that. Usually it's the death penalty or something, life imprisonment, where they're against it. It's like you are a spy. For an ordinary citizen, it's horrible. It calls for this, as I'm talking about, but for a head of state to be an active, not even that you were in the past, it's treasonable. It's a treasonous offense. There is no way to undermine this or to belittle it. But it doesn't mean that he's been convicted of it. Far from that, I believe in rule of law and everybody being accorded due process. However, these documents and everything emanate from a courthouse in the United States, a court legal action between United States agencies like CIA, FBI, and against some of our fine journalists, right? There comes a time that there are three standards. Number one, if you go into, say, I'm suing you electricity, it's a lawsuit, civil lawsuit. That standard that the arbiter is going to use is just your normal preponderance of evidence. Let's say I proffer more stuff, I beat you, whatever you have in a civil case, then I win by preponderance of evidence. Now, if it's a criminal case, even let's say he's been tried for this espionage, right? In that case, it's going to be evidence that's beyond a reasonable doubt to a moral certainty. Then you're convicted, right? However, in the court of public opinion, or to initiate something, it's called prima facie. A reasonable case has been made enough to shift the burden for you to show why it is not so. That has been made here. Prima facie case. Doesn't mean you're guilty, but there's so much out there that it is now up to you to be able to show that you didn't do it, that you're not a live asset of the CIA. So that comes from our National Assembly. They have to do it. They have to conduct hearing. They have to find out if he is, if he's ever been. But more importantly, if he's now, that should call for articles of impeachment. The minimum
Pastor,
is to have him impeached.
All that thought there. I have to laugh at the articles of impeachment. I wish, let me check. Rudolph have a show set up for starting midnight. So midnight Nigerian time. So I think we still have enough time. This article of impeachment is Pastor. Okay, you know what? Give me a day. I know we don't have each other's contact. Just give me a day that you want us to talk. You still have the floor. Just before I forget, give me a day that you'll be available. Just give me a day right now. Let me see. I'll work out my calendar on my head. Eagles, just 1 second. Pastor, give me a day. You're muted, Pastor. You're muted.
Okay, it has to be from Monday next week or Monday itself. I'm gonna be busy from tomorrow through the weekend. So Monday show.
Monday. What time Monday? Yeah, in the
what
US.
time is this show? Yeah, what
You're
time?
in the US.
I am, yeah.
So
Where are you?
You're free throughout Monday. I'm in the UK. You're free throughout Monday.
Yeah, Monday is good. So we could conclude it between now and then.
The Monday. So just watch out on the Rudolph platform for Monday. I will set it up. Then we will continue this discussion. But go ahead. The floor is
very well. Okay, I see Ego's eyes. Ego's eyes. He wants to come in here. So let me just say
let him come in because let Ego say come in. You not get the floor. Ego said the floor is yours. Thank you.
What I'm trying to say in effect is that our constitution, we have constitution, but it does not work. We have lawmakers, but they are not working their works. Because this kind of thing is something that when they hear it, next thing to do is to invite Mr. President. Please come explain to us all this thing. But before then, they have to have people that will do some investigation concerning what they had, whether it's right or wrong. Now, Mr. President have to come and explain what he knew about it or not. For instance, the day one of the lawmakers, one of the people that call himself honorable, who is representing one constituency in Abia State, slapped an urban man. The same day that one man also, one of the representatives in the UK slapped another person on the road. But he was suspended immediately. They suspended him immediately before every other thing. But in Nigeria, they did not suspend him. Rather, they gave him 500,000 fine to pay. And children that are minor pay 10 million naira. You see, we had something that does not work. So up to tomorrow, whether Tinubu is an asset to CIA and all the rest of them or not, our lawmakers will don't pretend that they not hear it. Don't be surprised tomorrow now, Ononuga will come out and tweet that all this is a propaganda. It's a mere propaganda, this, and they would want to undermine the president and create confusion. And it didn't just die off that place. So we have a nation that does not work. We have a nation that have constitution. Constitution does not work on the politician. Rather, the constitution work on the and the masses, poor ones in Nigeria. So all these things that we are saying, there's no way we are going to make case out of it. There's no way we are going to, because the nation of United States of America and other Westerners, they're interested what they are getting from Nigeria. Even UK, they're interested what they're getting from Nigeria. If you like, kill yourself, that place does not concern them. That's what is happening in Congo, DR. Because of what they are getting from Congo, that's why Congo is at war for almost 15 years now, or more than that. They don't care. They use it to test their weapon. If you say that you are not happy, you want to create a chaos in Nigeria, they will help you to create the chaos so that they'll be able to get what they need. So it is in what is happening in Libya. So all these things, nothing. There's nothing. Even if people carry the case to like what they call a criminal court of justice, America will still have influence in them and influence them, and nothing will come out from it. So Tinubu have betrayed the nation, and what we have to look at it the way forward, how to override those people, how to overcome them, how to make sure you take them away, and nothing more. But in terms of this thing, there's nothing we make case out of it. That's my own submission.
Thank you very much. Foley B. Yeah, Pastor, before I come to you, Foley B, thanks for joining. Are you there, Foley B? Foley B, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, sir.
All right, the floor is yours. I'm not sure if you've been following, but I believe
Sorry,
you have.
sorry. I will get back to you. You can still go on.
Please, electricity pastor, you have rules here. If you want to be part of this discussion, you have to on your camera. You have to make your camera open. And he said that he had taken the correction last time. I remind you of this, please.
I will do that, but I'm still doing something.
So that we know whether Tinubu is talking to us or Bayo Anoniga is talking to us.
Could you please just take a step back, please? Yeah. Foley B will on his camera if he wishes to on the ground that he's joining from Nigeria, and we make exception. So I know him personally. So he makes exception. He doesn't have problem turning on his camera. We give exception to those who are joining. If somebody has come and is joining from Nigeria, I will verify, because an incident has happened before where the person did not turn his camera, but the way he was talking, it was clear that he was not he's not in Nigeria, because his internet was stable. So, in a matter of Foley B, for the record, he's joining us from Nigeria. If he wants to turn on his camera, fine. But if he doesn't want to, the rule of the platform covers him. Not me, please. I'm not being unfair here. All right, Pastor, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. I'm very strained with the confines of our discussion because I'm trying to be politically correct. I'll do it today. God forbid I do it again. Now, on this particular issue here, we've already discussed, and Lagos A has elucidated the egregiousness of this particular allegation. Now, we have a constitution, as shambolic as it is. It provides what should happen in these types of cases. Now, in this case, if either somebody is president or vice president, it gives us in section 143 how to remove a president. There's always a discussion like, oh, our president is so tough, our governors, they have immunity. No, they don't. They don't have any immunity that is general. You could do whatever you want. There's no country where that's a constitutional democracy, including here, that a president can be removed from office for misdemeanor, high crimes, and misdemeanor. Same thing. We copied our constitution. Now here's a big word. Ipsissima verba. Word for word, pretty much. So you have somebody who's been alleged to be an active agent. This is scary. This is astonishing. Even if he didn't do it, we want it cleared up that our president It's not an asset. For his own good, he has to be vetted out thoroughly by our National Assembly. Where that doesn't happen, even our courts can intervene on their own motion by sending something down to compel some kind of inquiry to find out, because if he's not, this is damaging stuff to his reputation. But if he is, God forbid. Now, people such as Niger, they are for security. I've noticed since this story broke, he's nowhere to be found. Because we'll talk about it sometime. But no, with our constitution, it's enumerated how to remove somebody like that from office. It's in section 143. The numbers.
Yeah, I know the articles of impeachment. And let me say this: people fail to understand it. Why I keep hammering on our lawmakers, people really don't understand. You see, the statement Tinubu made, respectfully, as the president, we must give respect to him. Fully, when you're ready, let me know. When he said, quote unquote, if not for me, Buhari will not have been president. If not for me. So, at that moment, or when he becomes president, they should have asked for clarification what it means by that statement alone, and invoke the article of impeachment. There are several things that can be used to invoke the articles of impeachment. So, what I would do is this: Pastor, we are meeting on Monday, God willing. If there's any change, I'll let Rudolph know. Rudolph will let you know. But Monday, so that we can look at this. Let me copy it. Where is it? Let me copy so that I can use it as a topic. It's gonna be very serious. Pastor, did you send it to the private chat?
What was it?
The issue of the assets, CIA assets. Can you, if you don't mind, send it to the private chat?
Okay, I will do so. Plus, it'll give us we'll give the story time to progress. We'll get to know what the National Assembly is doing, or anybody.
Yeah, I just need to have a background of it. If you can just put it in there, like I said.
I will. I'll put it in
please.
there.
Thank you very much. Foley B, are you there? Are you ready? Okay. Foley B is not ready. So what is going to happen is, once Pastor sent that into me, Igor said, this is a serious issue. If our president is an asset based on this document, it's a very serious one. I watch Homeland. I don't know if you've watched Homeland before. If I know if you have watched Homeland, when the head of the Revolutionary Guard became an asset. If you go watch it, this thing happens in real life. It's not stories. They may redact some parts, this and that. The Revolutionary Guard, due to what he did, it became an asset to the CIA. Is it CIA or FBI? No, I think it's the CIA. And once you are an asset to anyone, any government, or any individual, your life is gone. You've got no life again. They tell you when to sit down, when to stand, when to drink water, where to sleep. They tell you when to kiss your wife or talk to your children. And when that person is the president of a country, then it raises concern. This is why I keep saying, if we, the citizens, on this matter, we cannot rise up on this matter and start to hold our legislative, our lawmakers, that what is going on. Then let's be honest, we just close shop and forget about it. So this is beyond what any tribe or religion will come and tell us they are suffering impunity or whatever. This is far way beyond it. Higher than any of us can ever think of. I give
What
you
I'm
just
trying to, what I'm trying to say in effect that as long as Nigeria is concerned, Nigeria is gone like a subsidy. Tinubu said, subsidy gone. Nigeria have gone.
No,
As
Nigeria
long as
has not gone.
concerned.
I'm going to push back on that. I have my reason why I push back on that.
I have a reason why I said that
I'm going
Nigeria
to
has
push
gone.
back on it seriously, even though we are stating the problem, we are talking about the problem. It's not beyond solution. So Nigeria is not gone. Respectfully, not on my watch. With due respect, I'm not gagging you.
Reason.
I'm not
I
gagging
have a
you.
reason.
You're a Christian. You have hope. You have faith. I don't think you should say that Nigeria is gone. I'm not gagging you, please. But the floor is back to you, please. Thank you.
Yeah, the reason why I say Nigeria is gone, when such a statement on alleged allegation comes on the number one citizen of a nation, you have to understand that that nation has finished. Because every
Let me ask you a question. Is there a solution to every problem? Yes or no, please?
The only solution, there's some problem that don't have solution except God willing, except God intervention. That God intervention is death.
So that is a solution equally. Yes, it's a solution.
That's what I'm trying to let you to know.
So there is a solution to every problem.
Yeah, the solution is that Nigeria problem right now is that what happened to Abacha happens again, and it will not happen only on one person. It happened a lot of them. Yes.
I am sorry to say this.
No, I'm not
What
making
happened to Abacha has not changed anything. Sorry, fully busy. Sorry.
What I'm trying to say in effect, if you watch Nigeria, everything concerning the presidency and the House of Senate and everything revolve around them. They do not allow anybody who is not among them or who is not an agent of them to come in, because if you come in, you're going to spoil a lot of things to them. That's why I say Nigeria has a serious problem that we don't know where to start to correct it. Is it the citizens are going to start to correct it, or who? Not everybody is afraid because they have put fear in the life of people. If you come out and say that they want to protest or want to do it, they place gun on you. And if they capture that person, put that person into prison, nobody will stand to speak for the person. Or whatever thing they desire to do, that's what they do. For instance, Nnamdi Kanu, you have to understand that what was Nnamdi Kanu that place is not only the federal government of Nigeria. Westerners' hands are in it.
All right.
They're trying to spoil business for them.
All right, thank you very much. Fully B, can you zip up, please? None of us here are gay. Fully, please. Can you zip up your chest? Fully B, you are threatening us with your chest, please. Don't come and entice us. No. So, all right, the floor is yours, Fully B. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Electricity, good morning. Good evening.
How are you?
Hope everybody is fine.
We're fine. Sorry, you're on rope, so go and have mercy. Go ahead. I forgive you for this one.
Sorry.
Well, you could as well just put on a t-shirt and throw it over you, but go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So, what happened is this. I didn't actually follow the story very well, but for a very long time, I have known that Nigerians need all of us to rise up and stand with one voice with these people. Presently, we don't have any one of them. Nobody is on the side of the country. All of them in power, they are actually on the side of themselves. If any one of them likes, let them kill the whole Nigeria. They will support themselves. Except we masses now come together to form a formidable team to put an end to all this, their character, this character governing our space. Or else we go nowhere. And Mr. Electricity will testify. We'll be standing for this on this course for a very long time. And I believe, I just pray, it's not too late for Nigeria to get to where we are and where we are standing, so that we can be able to come together and work like a team to fetch these people out of power. We need something very serious to do against them, because it's getting too much. You can't even touch any one of them anymore. They have become too powerful. They are not seeing themselves as if they are governing us, as if we give them a job to do on our behalf. They have made that place look like it's their birthright and they can do anything they want to do with us. So if we are still talking about, we are still expecting this National Assembly or House of Rep to do anything serious, we are still deceiving ourselves. I'm not even looking at their side. The only area I think I can work on, the only area I think I can be, is the side of the people. But until that day, the people come together and fetch them out of power. We are not going anywhere. And to my brother that said Nigeria is gone, if you look at it very well, if we don't do anything about it, Nigeria is gone. But if we start do something about it, we can still retrieve Nigeria back from there. The only area will be a failure is when we don't act. That is only when I can accept where we are gone. But as long as we are responding, as long as we are taking a step, we can still take our country back from them. Sure, I think that one is sure. But how do we organize? How are we not going to allow the things that used to separate us in the past continue separating us? Religion, ethnicity, tribalism, all these things that they used to divide us. How are you going to work over it? And politics as well. How are you going to work over all these factors, all these things that they are using to separate us all the time? And the only victim here are Nigerians. These people come together and they do whatever they want to do with us. We are the victim. Whether you are rich, you are poor, you are whatever you think you are in Nigeria, as long as you don't belong to their caucus, you will have your own price to pay. So until all of us come together and rise up against them and do something very needful, very serious with them, we go nowhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Before I leave the floor open, thank you for joining, Mr. Tony. Tomorrow.
You're muted, electricity.
Sorry, my apologies. Sorry for that. Thank you. There's going to be a broadcast tomorrow. I titled it a valedictory broadcast tomorrow. The women's segment will be back on Saturday. Will be co-moderated or moderated. They are there. The women are there, and also on Monday, Pansat, I will take you on. We will focus on the Constitution, which you have interest. I have interest. So. Welcome, Mr. Tony. I'll give you the floor before I go to Pansat, since you're just joining us. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. It's evening here, and greetings to everybody who is listening. Yes, I joined a couple of minutes ago, and I can see that we are talking about Nigeria and the state of the nation. I don't know how long we will continue to talk about Nigeria. The same thing all over. We all know that there's real trouble in the country. But even then, I don't think that Nigeria is finished. We say it, but I think what we mean
by that is that the odds appear very much. They appear unsurmountable. But like electricity said, until you start articulating a solution, in fact, they say necessity is the mother of invention. If there is no problem, there is no solution. That is how the world has always been. A lot of the discoveries that have been made are based on people trying to solve problems. So we have a serious problem. And if we are able to, like Foley said, look beyond primordial sentiments like ethnicity, religion, and look squarely at the problem. And in doing that, we make sure that we're looking at justice, we're looking at equity, we're looking at fair play. These are some of the things that are lacking in our country today. There's no justice, there's no fair play, there's even the will to implement or to ensure that the laws are applied as they should. It's not there. And so it's almost like a jungle, an animal kingdom where might is right. So that's not how a state is run. And once any state, if the institutions are weak and people see why they call it black, that nation will not move forward. So we know all this. We know these are problems. And when it comes to, we travel outside, we see other nations, the way they operate. We behave well when we go out. But once we come, if you look at our soldiers and our police people, once they go on international assignments, they do very well. But when they come to Nigeria, it's different. So the question would be, what is it in the Nigerian situation that makes us behave the way we're behaving? Is it in ourselves? Is it in our attitude? And you mentioned the Constitution. I know that there's no Constitution that is perfect. Well, that's for another day when we discuss it. There's no Constitution that is perfect.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, just be on the lookout. Hopefully, I'm alive till then. So
You'll be alive. so I don't grudge those who think that what we need is a radical situation, like a surgery. Because there are certain diseases that you cannot cure unless there's a surgery, and in the process, there'll be blood shed, there'll be pain, but ultimately, healing comes. So I don't grudge those who think that at the stage that we are in now, that is the direction we should go. But I don't agree that we have reached a place where we can say there's no hope. That I don't agree, as bad as things are. Let me yield the floor.
all right, thank you. We're gonna make our closing argument because we're gonna continue with this on Monday, looking at the asset issue, the president being an asset. I'll try and find that redacted document if it's online. I don't know if I can get it to, but if it's an asset, every one of us should be consigned. In fact, already we are consigned, but we need to be more consigned. And like I said again, this is my own closing argument. Like I said again, it is down to the citizens holding our elected reps, the red and blue chamber. If this is true, are we just going to fold our hands and say Serahai, whatever will be? Because we're not going to, I don't come here to just talk for the sake of talking. No, I don't do that. I don't believe in that. That's not me. I come here to talk with the hope that it's going to ignite something in every one of us. And we're going to rise up and do something about it. So that's all I have to say. Pastor, I'll give you 3 minutes because we have a date on Monday, so don't take too long, please. You have all you want to say on Monday, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, and welcome to the show, Tony, and those who are listening to us. We've had a civil discussion. It's not going to solve the problem in our country. It's not going to be civil discussion all the time. But today, I said, let me see what Mr. Wellborn, how are you? That's my brother from Ghana and Nigeria, a fine soldier that served in our military, but a true African, good heart, with valor. We don't respect people like that because we don't have our heads screwed up properly. But let me say that electricity, you're more concerned with style over substance. You asked me, you posed a very interesting question earlier. You say, and you've continued all the way, putting the onus on the Nigerian people rather than the leaders. When you see, for example, that Wike what was doing, people were protesting against him, and he calls us, hey, look, I'm simply carrying out President Tinubu's directive on building houses for judges, right? He's evicting people, kids, throw them out of the street, right? And his response is that he's building houses for the judges. We're talking about having separation of powers here. That you go to the National Security Advisor, Ribadu. Believe this guy was a premier EFCC chairman. We all thought, okay, here's the new generation. This guy is incorruptible to me at that time. And he arrested Tinubu, and he was hassling him and doing all kinds of things. Today he's working for Tinubu, and look at what he's doing. Look at what he's saying. To quote him, because I know when you're doing this show, you're not aware of the news going on. He's saying that nobody dares Tinubu and gets away with it. They're bad. Unbelievable. So nothing Nigerians can do about this except one thing. And you don't want to talk about what that is. Now, the appeal court sacks the Ondo Labour Party governorship candidate because that's what the courts are there for. These people have captured the state. But I'm not, when Born is here, probably wants to talk more. Tony just got here. Folly B hasn't said much. So it's not fair that you're closing the show so early. But I have to say a couple of things, which is that when you're hosting this show, there are things that should be settled. I really we have to do a show on that. Where you, because you're ubiquitous on this channel, at one point I jabbed you, I say you are the, Rudolph made you the host of hosts, I guess. But some of it you probably took upon yourself and intimidated the other ones, and they have to listen to you, right?
Well,
So,
Pastor,
yeah,
Pastor, that is a defamation on here, and I can sue you for that. You know that.
okay. You said it. You denied it the last time, but
character here.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
So what I want to do
defaming
is I want you to I want certain things to be understood. I'm just going to end with that because you have to know that you cannot shift these things to the citizens. The only thing they can do is to violently take over their country back. That's it.
Okay.
If you're not advocating that, then you can have that discussion. Yeah.
That's what you've been wanting to say since Passat, for the citizens to violently take over. And let me tell you this. I am not against that. It now depends on, we now need to define what that violence is all about. Okay? We now need to now put it in context, and so that we are not seen as inciting what do you call it? Inciting there's a word I'm trying to use. There's nothing wrong. There's peaceful protest. It's another form of violently taking over the government. Let's assume we have this movement that take over, that sit in front of the houses or the Senate or the presidency and say, 1 week we are not, or we shut down business. You know what? If we're going to die, after all, we are dying anyway. So we better just kill our just a means of what the actions that citizens can take. Like Mr. Tony said there, if the Igbo people who have that power in command, there's a way you put it, Mr. Tony, can you help us with that, please?
They command the retail sector of the economy.
They command the retail sector. If in the entire country, not that sit down Monday sit down that has no effect, that does not affect the governor or the government in that state, but if they use their veto power on that retail sector and shut the country down, I can guarantee you they will come to the table and have this discussion. So that's another form of violently taking it by force. I mean, if I want to use this. Anyway, Igu said, the floor is yours, please. Your 3-minute closing argument.
Please, since there's our brothers that just joined us, they have not said anything, I leave the floor for them.
All right, Awibon and Taiwan, you're in. Let's you speak, please.
Yeah, thank you, and good evening from here, from my little beautiful city of Bolgatanga in Upper East region. And Depan, I salute you, sir. Good evening to the rest of you and those that are listening to. You see, there is something I would like to put across. If the CIA, the FBI, etc., has pronounced Tinubu, the Nigerian president, as a big asset to them, he should watch himself. If you look at, most of you know the history of Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro was a very notable, ally of the United States until he broke out with them. And he never found it easy till the day he died. And remember that Fidel Castro speaks better American accent than any of you that are living in the United States. Fidel Castro. As I had opportunity to visit Havana so many occasions as well. If you look at Saddam Hussein was also an asset, a great asset to the United States. He was used against Iran in that 8-year gruesome war. He was being funded by the United States as well, State Department. So these are some of the things that we should consider. If you look at the history of Osama bin Laden as well, it goes a long way to tell us what these people can do with your own people. And he should also watch himself, because the day he part ways with them, it is not going to be easy with them. Take, for instance, the one that is living right now is Charles Gangi Taylor of Liberia. The man that went me to go to Liberia to fight for 3 years, 8 months. He parted ways with the United States when ECOWAS single-handedly made him the president of Liberia. They used another American Liberia who took over from him after they forced him. The same people, they forced him on self-imposed exile. That saw him, that brought him in Nigeria, I think in Calabar or thereabout, during Obasanjo's time. The heat was on, but the Nigerian government could not protect the person they promised to protect until the man tried to run away through the Cameroon borders and he was arrested. Today, he is there serving his jail term in The Hague. These are some of the things that is going to happen to anyone that has been recognized as an asset by these people. When you come to our people, when you say electricity, you say the role of the people. How can you hold a government, a setup that it did not, vote to account? How would the National Assembly investigate one of their own? They will not. There is no investigative department in Nigeria that is going to dive into this. And when the people revolt, what happens? Have you forgotten the Lekki massacre? What did the CNN said about the Lekki massacre? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. And for me, I have taken a path, and that is my own decision, my own. I support whatever that is going to disintegrate that country, because the unity of that country is a curse to everybody. It has made Nigeria not to move forward. As I was looking today, I think dollar to naira is so huge. Even my own, what is going on? Price of a liter of petrol that you have the raw materials to produce. You are competing with the same price with those that doesn't even have the natural resource. What is going on? When we are looking up to Nigeria to be the big brother, they are shrinking. When Goodluck Jonathan was there, it was $500+ billion assets. Today, instead of improving, it is retrogressing in a very fast manner. Today, it is $200 and something billion in GDP now as we speak. So that are there, that have elected themselves against the wishes of the people. The only thing I see is that they are going to use him. Remember, they tried to use him to invade Niger. If not, that the people over there stood of those that has given him that access, tag. Thank you, and that is what I have to say about it.
Thank you very much. Folibi, are you still there? Okay, Folibi. Gentlemen, we will be back here. If you can join us on Monday, that will be fine. Just look at the page. I don't know what time it's going to be when I'm going to set it up. Mr. Tony Passat will be the guest. And listen, when I say it's with the people, let me put this to you. If let's hypothetically say we sit down, we do nothing, do you think anything will change, in your opinion?
No, nothing will change. But there are some certain things that people will do. See, if you look at that system that has, there are, you see, when we've been doing the same thing all over and all over again without any result. We've been doing the same thing over again without no result. And these people are not even ready to make amends.
So
they
what
don't
are you
even
proposing?
care how the people. My own proposal is what my mother's ancestral people are doing, the Biafran people. Let everybody go home and answer their father's name. As simple as that. If joining together is going to cost the life of people, if going together is going to cost the life of people, there are so many lives that have been lost, not just through the bullet or the accidental discharge or willful killings of the Nigerian people through hunger as well, miselectricity. So what is the next solution for people? Must we continue in order to keep Nigeria one? Then people will continue to die.
That's the answer to that question. No, we don't have to. No, you just answered the question. That is it down to the people. We don't have to live together. So for that to happen, the people have to react or respond or do something. Is that correct? That's your
depending on what they are going. Depending on what they are going to do. Because for me,
no. Let's forget about what they are going to do. Awiba, hold on one second. I just want to get something from you.
Please, I want to.
Hold on, Igusia, please. Awiba, what you are proposing is sit down for the people. Let's forget about how they will go about it for now. Is it down to the people to do something on the fact that we don't have to live together? Would that be correct? I think it's frozen. Okay, Awiba is frozen. All right. Okay, gentlemen. I don't want us to overdrag this thing because we have another day on Monday to delve on this. I would like
put
to
your
thank.
weapon in the backstage until he's then come back in.
I'm about to. So, gentlemen, pass out. I would like to again thank you, and you know why I'm thanking you again. So, the Holy Spirit is upon you, and keep it up as it is. And
Passat is born again.
Yeah.
Don't carry on it. I told you.
And Pastor, you just
Who delivered my uncle? Who delivered my uncle?
Pastor did not use any. He didn't even tell me to shut up or whatever it is today.
I didn't even know that is him until you mentioned his name. He's really born again.
He is born again.
I can tell you he's going to heaven now.
He's displaying the good federal character that we want in Nigeria.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
It's a symbol for people younger generation. I would recommend it for them to follow his footsteps. So, but he made an allegation against me, which he has withdrawn.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
He withdrew that I am the master or whatever it is of the platform. That is incorrect, master. I refute that. So, gentlemen, we're going to see on Monday, God willing, and for those who gave super chat and what's the name, 2YK, TLIG, thanks for clarifying yourself. Kulata, thank you also. Oscar Blackbone, thank you for your super chat, and we'll be back here again tomorrow. I don't know about Friday, but Saturday the ladies segment will be back. And on Monday, we are starting a new discussion in the matter of the allegation of assets, the Constitution, and the role of the citizens in nation building. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be an educational discussion. I encourage us to have whatever document you want to refer to, because verification will be made. No false statement or claim like what Passat made and somebody said, and I raised it up, and it was cleared that way. The record was clear that the guy is a lecturer, he lectures on guerrilla warfare and everything. So that is the angle we will be going forward, referencing documents for the purpose of this channel integrity and to have things correct there. So you have a lovely evening, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland, with love and strength and faith.
Our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so. Oh, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom. In freedom. In freedom. Peace and unity. Arise, my people, arise, my people.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You're laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam, thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. This by the end of the year. How are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son. Ask your daughter. How to? Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.